Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, what's going on? Good afternoon, everybody. Good to be with you. Hey, Henry, it's good to see you from Camarillo, California. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of real estate out there. Hello. Hey, H. Berman, what's going on? Demod Skiz, how are you, baby? Hi, Razorback. Hi, Ruth. Hey, Doc.
I can't believe I didn't get much hate for the song this morning.
Hi, Darius. Why? It's a good song. Bye, bye, bye. I love that song. I don't know. It's like the 16 in me, that the 16-year-old that never grows up.
You were 16 when that came out?
Hi, Tiedemann. No, but it's like that kind of a young girl thing that would like that. Hello, Mama J4. What's going on, Pod Racer? Hi, I am Sam. Hi, Demanda. Darius, I hope I said hi to you. I don't know if I just skipped over you. Sorry.
Oh, Patriot TV and Murtech just rated us.
Hey. Oh, I'm so glad you did. Who's Patriot TV? That would be our friend.
Yeah, that'd be JD.
That would be our friend, the ever lovely and talented and my favorite guy to read ever, JD Rucker. Hello.
Ever.
I really like him. Yeah, if it's a book, I'll read Malcolm Gladwell. If it's an article, it better be JD Rucker.
Ever's a big thing.
Whatever. I'm 56. I know what I like. Thank you. That was very creepy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was
very. Can anybody tell us why we're not on the leaderboard? Like, there's no indication that we exist on Rumble at all from yesterday. And then meanwhile, what did we end up with views-wise on X? See, this is more normal. 44. We're at 44. By the way, all of you who, and I know, Demanda, you do it every day, and there are a couple others, and I should call out your names because you do it every single day. You'll repost our show. And I just want you to know, I see you every day. Thank you. Somebody got a hold of it, and it went gangbusters yesterday. And so I'm extraordinarily grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You should have been number 7 on the leaderboard.
Is that right?
That's what I said. It should be between the numbers and the rumbles. The way I looked at it, we would have been 6 or 7.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. It's kind of weird.
Whatever.
Right? I don't know. How do you guys feel about today's thumbnail, about today's like overarching
we're in the big box
thing
right now.
Hey.
Wow.
How you doing?
You must have felt bad or something.
Yeah, because I was like, we didn't make it on the leaderboard yesterday.
Hurry up and
like,
say,
what happened?
If you're seeing the show for the first time,
hey, this is the
follow it.
We're the Wendy Bell Radio program. We got about 2.5 minutes before we go live. So we are a radio program, and we just very much enjoy live streaming. And we have a phenomenal arsenal, an army of wonderful people who have been with us. Many have been with me for over 20 years, and many who have been with us radio-wise for probably 5. So I love that you're here. And if you're just seeing us for the first time, hang out, make it through the monologue, and see if it's something that suits you.
Hit that follow button. We're so close to 100,000 followers.
We are. We're 100% organic. You guys have done this with us, and we are so close. But I'm so happy you're here. We got 3,400 almost coming in. And then yesterday, we ended the show with 44,000 live views on X. And we're like, what?
We're at 130 now. Usually we're not.
I know. And it's just been weird to watch. Like the algorithms. I'd love to sit back and be like, I'm so fabulous. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this?
I'd love to understand
but it's the algorithm, and I'm like, like, why some days you could have a great show and it's like 7 people are watching, and then other days you're like, God, I really suck, and it's like, oh, you hit 1 million. Fantastic.
1 million people saw my worst show ever.
Here's my nasty lipstick. Ew. So gross. But I'm addicted to lipstick. It's my one addiction next to beer. So. I lost my glasses, Rob. Oh, there they are.
You're addicted to beer?
I do love me beer. I think I would have a hard time not having beer. Sometimes I'm like, no. Yeah.
Sometimes you get home, I'm home at 3:30, and I'm like, is it too early to crack a beer?
Last night I opened a a beautiful bottle of wine from Opalo, which is in California. My parents loved Opalo, and I have one extra bottle left, Concerto. So what says I have a problem like opening it and drinking it by myself?
What time did you open it? That's just
8.
Oh, well, you're fine.
8, yeah.
I mean, I'm cracking a beer at 3:37.
Well, I did that too.
Oh,
I mean,
well, you're covering all your bases.
I mean, let's be
I want
real.
this to keep going.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here. I hope you hang for a while. See what we are all about. I just put this ridiculous mop up because it's hot. It's getting hot in here. Sorry.
Hot.
So anyway, welcome, and we're going to go live here in just a few seconds. I'm glad you're here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hey!
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. What a beautiful day to wake up and be an American, right? This is the Wendy Bell radio program. Look, it's simple. It's not complicated because telling the truth ought not be complicated. Looking at somebody in the eye and telling them what you think and how you feel and being honest is not complicated, which is why in addition to broadcasting on stations across the country, I get to look at you in the eye online. And if you haven't joined our family, wendybellradio.com, please do. Podcast, almost 8.3 million downloads. We are so excited that you are here. And if you like the idea of common sense conservative values delivered by a former television news anchor and reporter who's now recovering, I'm glad you're here and welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, I thought this whole uproar about President Trump calling the head of FIFA, right? A guy he knows, the guy he's been courting. You know, he's been on this since 2018, making the case that America should host the World Cup in 2026. President Trump, in his first presidency, when it was knives out, they had everything they were throwing at the guy. They had Ukraine, they had impeachment 2, they had the freaking Steele dossier, they had the PP tapes, they had all of these crazy allegations. Donald Trump is a horrible human being. And they stuck the landing with a lot of people who to this day believe all of that mumbo jumbo. And as he was dodging bullets like it was the freaking Matrix, Donald Trump is looking towards the 250th anniversary birthday of this country and goes after the flippin' World Cup, gets it, right? Creates those relationships. And then lo and behold, he picks up the phone when it's a bad call, red card, you know the one I'm talking about. And he's like, hey, maybe you guys could take another look, right? And what did they do? They did the right thing. You know, I get it. I get being on a team. I'm on Team America, right? I make no apologies for my adamant and enthusiastic conservative values. I am a mom. I have boys I need to give a safe, an honorable, a just America too. And I will fight every single day that you're here paying attention for that. Trump did the same thing for his corporation, the USA. Well, it's interesting how it all played out, right? The red card gets overturned. Player Balogun gets in, and he's able to play yesterday, and they looked terrible. America looked terrible. Team USA, they looked flat. They looked bored. They looked scared. They looked both. How it can be, but they were a step behind, and Belgium absolutely mopped the floor with us. And hats off to the Belgian players, right? I mean, they were phenomenal. We couldn't get it together. It wasn't the right time. Historic, making it to that round of 16 or what have you. A big triumphant thing. But this is exactly what President Trump was talking about. Don't take out the best player on Team USA, because if we lose the next game, then you've got a whole griping open door, sour grapes, woe is me. That's not fair. And he's like, let people play. Let people play. Let countries duke it out. Let us figure out who we are and where we are. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to placate us. Don't try to hide it like you've hidden Mitch McConnell, who we all just thought was a horrible lawmaker to begin with. And then a statue. And then, oh yeah, that little brief blip in the hospital was actually him suffering a freaking heart attack, being found unconscious. Somebody needed to do CPR. And now what are we hearing? Dude's brain dead, if not dead. Where the hell was the transparency on that? Well, we're going to dip into that conversation coming up in the next hour. But for Trump to stand up for Team USA, for America, and says, get all the rules out of the way. If it was a legitimate red card, he never would have called, right? And now, did you hear what FIFA did? Well, let's go back and hear what Trump said, because yesterday, last night, unless you've been living under a rock, the United States was eliminated from the World Cup after an historic run. It really was an historic run. And literally hats off and congratulations to the men's team. Fantastic job. Better team won. It's the way it goes, right? It's like in war. The stronger side wins. Whether you have better strategy, more people, better ammo, bombs, drones, whatever, if you've got better, you usually win. The better team won. Trump wasn't trying to make a victory. He was trying to unwind something that was going to cause a problem the next day. It's almost like he knew. It's so weird. It's almost like he knew. So I want you to hear what Trump said in the Oval Office on Monday, when the media were in an uproar. Can you believe the president fights for his own country? I mean, it's crazy. And the rest of us were like, yeah, it was a lousy call. And if there's a way somebody could review it, it's great. Go for it. This is what President Trump said. This is exactly why he made that phone call. Listen.
You want to see a game with your best players. You don't want to say, how would you feel if I took, we take Messi out? Look, he ran into somebody. Or we took Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you bunked into somebody. We're going to take you out of a game. He's great. Or Harry Kane. Harry Kane, we're going to take you out of the game, Harry, because you happen to hit somebody a little bit harder than you can't do that. If you would have taken him out, I think it would have really stained this incredible champion. We got to have our best players, and Belgium's got a great team, by the way. We got to have our best players. And they have to have their best. And if we win or we lose, it's fair. Otherwise, let's say we lost him and we lose the game. It would be a terrible thing.
Fairness. Isn't that such a weird concept? Fairness. In society that has been so punitive and so unfair, particularly if you're a conservative, particularly if you're a truth-seeking individual who doesn't lap up the garbage that the media serves every day. If you're one of those people who things just don't sound right to or feels a little uncomfortable inside, you were the enemy. You've been the enemy for years. They freaking hate you. They hate you. And MAGA, again, which is to them like Lord Voldemort, don't say that name. People recoil, hiss, right? Really? About making America great again? See, what we've come down to is basically sides, and it's not necessarily political sides. It's crazy, crazy, and then, okay, not crazy. I'm on the not crazy side. The people over here who find offense with the American flag, who aren't moved by the national anthem, who wouldn't quietly admit to you that they've cried on more than one occasion, on the 4th of July or Veterans Day or any day that it's great to wake up to be an American. There's something wrong with them. And it makes me sad. There's no joy. There's no joy in me sitting back and being like, yo, you need an intervention. But ladies and gentlemen, this country needs an infusion. We might not be the therapists who are going to do it, but our love of country, it's beyond patriotism. It's respect. It's respect. I respect this place. I will be true to this place. Donald Trump just wanted the players to play. At the end of the match, at the end of a game, at the end of a competition, there is a winner and then everybody else. And if you're not the winner and you're everybody else, there is a code of conduct. There are morals, values, standards. And if you're on the left, those flew out the window. You don't like the results? Riot in the street. Nobody ever said riots, or rather protests, had to be peaceful. What? You want to go break into a department store and loot the everlasting liver of it? Why don't you go ahead and do that? No. President Trump wanted it decided on the pitch. And the FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, yesterday broke his silence before the game, before the match, before America lost, and said President Trump's phone call did not create the overturn. They reviewed it, and they did the right thing. Alas, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a country that does the right freaking thing, choose Team America, not all the other people out there rooting for us to lose. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, that quirky oyster farmer, that communist guy, Graham Plattner, wow, he had a bad day yesterday. Sucks to be him. Can't wait to tell you all about it. As the Democrats are trying to do the Heisman and rebuke him. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Little too late for that, babes. Ro Khanna. I don't know who had a worse day yesterday. Graham Plattner, who's now being charged by a second woman of rape, right? Him or Ro Khanna, who was like, this man of mine, I love him. He's great. Humble oyster farmer from Maine. This is exactly what we need. And we're all like, he admits to masturbating while defecating in porta potties. I mean, before you talk about anything else, I'm just going to say disqualified. Other than that, all right, let's go. I want to talk to you guys about Ghost Bed. So I'm going to read you the promo for Ghost Bed, but I'm going to tell you I have a Ghost Bed. And if you have not bought a mattress in the last 10 years, do yourself this little trick favor, okay? Go into your bedroom and try to lift up your mattress. Try to lift it, because I guarantee you it's 11 billion pounds. Why? Skin cells and other things that get into the fabric, into the fibers. And then all of a sudden, after 10 years, you're like, holy cow. Time to get rid of that. Time to make a difference. And my friends at Ghost Bed are offering you a pretty nice little package here now, okay? Ghostbed.com/Wendy. If you're a hot sleeper, every single mattress from Ghost Bed has this cooling technology. It's not just like for the platinum line. It's all of their various kinds. You can have the hybrid mattress, which I have. It's firm, but it's got a nice pillow top, not too squish, but very nice cooling. 101 nights, Ghost Bed's like, you can totally sleep on our mattress all summer long, and see how cool you are in it and how much you love it before you decide if you want it or not. You're going to want it. You're going to want it. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. Extra 10% off. Extra 10% off right now. And with financing, Ghost Beds come out to around $1 a day. $1 a day. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. I'm just going to tell you. When a guy with back and neck problems creates his own mattress, it probably rocks. And it does. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. It's good to be with you guys. Hey, if John Thune is not disqualified from his job as the Senate Majority Leader now, I don't know what it's going to take for all of us to wake up and be like, hey, Mike Lee, you're out here chirping all the time about us getting involved in the Save America Act, even though we don't have a voting stake in this, right? You do. How about now you pull Thune away from his Senate Majority job? How about you and 4 others get off your ass and make that happen, Mike Lee? How about that? Uh-oh. You going to hurt my feelings, Brock?
No.
Okay. Let's see what you sent me.
Hillary might be upset.
Seth Rich was the conduit between Julian Assange, WikiLeaks.
Yes. He was the one that was shot and killed. Robbed, but the wallet was left.
That's right. Well, when you have a crime family, you don't really need cash. Not a good day to be Graham Plattner. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So, look, I want my side to win. I do believe my side is Team America. But the way I see Team America surviving, thriving, and being better than ever for always is for Republicans to continue to win. Are Republicans perfect? No. And I'm more offended by the scumbags in the Republican Party than I am by those I presume are scumbags just because I've paid attention to them in the Democratic Party. That said, I would not put my eggs in the basket of somebody I believed was dubious morally ever if that meant my team was going to win. This is what I think I would be like if I was a politician. If I was involved in the upper echelons of decision making. Look, they're desperate. The Democrats are desperate to regain control of the Senate. They're desperate. And they'll hold their nose with a Graham Plattner. And when a Republican woman comes out and is like, he raped me, he forced himself on me, they're like, I don't know. I don't know what I think. But if it's a liberal woman who comes out and she's like, yo, that guy's bad news. He came into my house, busted basically in the door, drunk, pushed himself on me, raped me, and then basically passed out in my house until the next morning. Now, all of a sudden, the Democrats are like, yeah, about that Graham guy. I'm not so sure about him. Well, I thought we would start because we're going to spend the next half hour talking about all the allegations and the reaction, which is always more interesting. I want to remember all of the times the Democrats defended this guy in Maine because I remember him, right? This is a great mashup of Ro Khanna, Liz Warren, Chris Murphy, and Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, is like the only Democrat to not rescind his endorsement of this guy, Graham Plattner. Let's go back and remember all of the glorious things they said about this humble little oyster farmer.
The Nazi tattoo was something that he owned up to. He said it was a mistake. But the Graham has made it clear that there was no evidence of violence. That, to me, is a red line. He has unequivocally owned up to it, said that it was wrong, that he learned from it.
Why you think he's your kind of man? He has apologized and evaluate not who Graham Plattner was, but who Graham Plattner is today.
And I guess I have a view of redemption.
Sounds like a human being to me, a human being who made mistakes, recognizes them, and is very open about it.
Graham Plattner is the fighter we need.
One of the things that drives me crazy, our inability to stand by progressive Democrats, or Democrats for that matter, because of some dumb thing or inaccurate thing they may have said in their past.
Endorsed Graham Plattner.
I'm not overly impressed by a squad of media running around saying, what do you think about the tattoo on Graham Plattner's chest. Between you and me, there might be one or two more important issues.
I did ask if there are any credible allegations of assault, of domestic violence, of rape, of having any inappropriate relationship with a minor, and I made it clear that for me is a red line, and he said no, there is not.
Wah, wah. I think the only person who had worse day yesterday than Graham Plattner was Ro Khanna, who is desperate for you in his multi-hundreds of millions of dollars personal fortune. He wants you to believe he's the next guy. He's the guy that can bridge the gap between the Democrats and the progressive / socialist / communist. Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Ro. I don't think your endorsement, all the glowing things you said about Graham Plattner are going to come back and do you any favors. By the way, seeing a picture of Graham, wearing a towel and taking a selfie of his body and reportedly using that on like an app, a dating app or some kind of an app for teenagers. Yeah, I'm going to go with you're really so not what America needs, brother, at all. And now Ruben Gallego, man, he just knows all of the wrong wagons to hitch up to, I'll tell you. He's like, well, the allegations against Graham Plattner are troubling and deeply serious. I am rescinding my endorsement. That's so weird because it was like not that long ago. What was it again that he said, Brock?
This guy is an authentic man. He's not anti-Semitic, and more importantly, not more importantly, but just as important is that he's going to win this election. And we need to win elections. We cannot go another 4, 5, 6 years, trying to get the Senate back. Like, we need to consistently win because whoever's going to be president in 2028, we need to hand them the House and the Senate.
Yeah, I'm not so sure your math is mathing there, sir. Ruben Gallego, Eric Swalwell's BFF, not looking too stellar in his buddy choices, right? We need to win. Now, I have to ask you, is winning with a terrible candidate still worth it? Democrats would say yes. I want to believe that if I was in their situation, desperate, that I would say no. But I don't know. I don't know. All we can do is pay attention to who says what and who says nothing. And so far, in the I'm saying zero for our Hispanic guests today, the one who has said not a word is Bernie Sanders, the Vermont senator, who pretty much buddied up to Graham Plattner and made him a thing, a potential rival for Susan Collins. And I don't like Susan Collins. Right? It's not like we're coming up roses either, but So what is he accused of doing, this Graham dude? Woman claims that he raped her while they were dating. He denies it, but he's canceled all of his campaign stuff. And the decision needs to be made imminently. Is he in or is he out? And if he's in, Democrats are screwed. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. They are screwed. They have none of the keys here. Because they can't Joe Biden him. They can't just
This is what they wanted all along.
give him the hook. Yeah, Brock has a theory on this. Go ahead.
This is what they wanted all along. They knew Janet Mills
is a
win.
toxic bitch.
And they saw the numbers for Graham Plattner starting to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we need to pull the hook. You mean to tell me, what, 5 days before?
Jake Tapper interviewed the woman before her story came out at Politico.
Yeah. 5 days before the deadline for him to drop out so they could replace him. This all comes out. This isn't new. She told this story a while ago, but she said she wanted her privacy. So they knew all about this. This is them, and they're going to pick their candidate to run against Janet Mills.
Can I also just say, it wouldn't take a whole lot to destroy somebody's political star by coming out and saying this. Do I think this woman is lying? I don't have any earthly idea. We are told in this article, and I'm going to read it to you because it's interesting. And you need to give credit where credit is due. Politico did it, but Politico was cherry picked to do it.
That's what.
Right.
Let's look where they went. They went to Politico
Daily
and
Beast,
CNN.
And Daily Beast has been covering some stuff.
Well, Daily Beast is a rag.
Yes.
But
so are the others.
What do they all have in common? Arms of the Democrat Party. I just think, I said yesterday, I don't believe in coincidences. I still don't.
I'm with you. All right. I do want to tell you about the healthy fat. The healthy fat. I don't want any fat, even if it's considered healthy, but that's not what you have to worry about. That's the landing page. To get to this dietary supplement that I've been drinking for the better part of a year. And what's beautiful about this, Dr. Stephen Gundry, cardiothoracic surgeon, invented this powder. You're already drinking water, so you just take a scoop of this, throw it in your water, shake it up, and it's delicious. All right. Not only are you going to enjoy the flavor of it, I'm drinking the watermelon lemonade, but the blueberry lemonade is like, you're not hungry for 4 to 5 hours. That's a huge, huge deal changer if you're trying to lose weight. There's nothing more frustrating than hitting a plateau in your weight loss. This pushes you off the plateau. This allows you to skip a meal, fewer calories, pounds lost, and it gets rid of that food chirping, I need a burger, or how about some Skittles, or Cheetos sound really good. I had some puffy Cheetos last night. Gotta tell you, I have a weakness. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I drink it every day. You know I do. It's called MCT Wellness. 70 pounds Dr. Gundry lost drinking this, and he says he's seen thousands of people do the same thing. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Watch the video. Whether or not you buy it, you're going to learn an awful lot and you'll be better off at the end. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. You're welcome. It's so delicious.
So that means the Republicans will have 3 months for whomever they pick, and watch how long it takes them to pick someone. So they can't get Oppo.
Well, yeah, and you've got enough of a Democrat state there.
And they're just going to say Susan Collins. It's not Susan Collins. That's what they're going to run on. It's not Susan Collins. And they know they don't care about the progressive wing. This is the deep state. They don't care. They're going to pick their person, and the progressives are just going to have to deal with it.
We're going to have to do this Seth Rich thing. Maybe we will find out how we can squeeze it in. I just opened up what you gave me. Look, the walls are going to close in on a lot of people. I think Fauci is going to go down, not in the way we want. I think Bill Gates is going to go down, though not in the way we want. I think the Clintons are going to be exposed, disgraced. I think the Biden crime family syndicate, and I believe Barry and Big Mike, I think they're going to go down as well. Now, we might not see him in prison. Ireland contracting, let me just say to the folks who are in Pittsburgh where we are, there is one thing about living in the land before time, beyond the nicest people in the world and a really beautiful city. The liberals have ruined it, which is a bummer. And that's being close to Ireland contracting. They don't just do new roofs. I just got my new Ireland roof in, you know. They do more than windows, soffit fascia, gutters, downspouts, siding. They do patio decks. I looked at their website and I was like, what? When did you start doing that? Get yourself a free estimate for scope of work. And then see if you can afford it. And if you can't, save for it. And then call them back, because I think you're really going to like them. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I like them. Just going to say, I like them. Look at X now, $13.94. So we're back climbing the ladder on Twitter, and it's great. Those of you who have found us and have shared us, this isn't complicated. It's just I tell you the truth. And it might be my version of the truth, but I'll stand by it every day of the week. And I won't lie to you. So if that sounds good to you, then retweet this and share us with somebody in your life, because I think it's nice to have a woman. 1.45.
This Seth Rich thing's huge.
1.45. News. And once I chew over it a little bit, we're going to bring it to you here probably in the next half hour or so. The overarching story of the day, besides what sounds like a vegetable, Mitch McConnell, and I don't take joy in that at all. The idea that anybody in charge of government should be found unconscious on the floor and go into the hospital and presumably be on life support. Right? And have his wife bounce to China 3 days later. It's all so weird, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It is. And those questions aside, hey, John Thune, what say you, brother? Why did you lie to us? I don't like being lied to. That's why I say I won't do it to you. Graham Plattner, a woman claims that he raped her. And I want to read you exactly what Politico is covering. Now, I could say hats off to Politico for doing some fair reporting, but that just doesn't feel honest, does it? It feels like they were given a story to push, a story to sink a guy that the Democrats finally needed to get rid of. And thus, here we are. A woman who dated Maine U.S. Senate candidate Graham Plattner says he forced her to have sex with him nearly 5 years ago, despite her repeated objections. An allegation Plattner denies. A woman, 41-year-old Maine resident, named Jenny Rassicot, detailed the alleged incident to Politico in 3 interviews over the past 2 weeks. Politico also spoke with the man Rassicot dated and confided in the years after the alleged incident and reviewed documents, including emails between Rassicot and her therapist, and messages between Rassicot, I hope I'm saying her name right, and an acquaintance whom she warned against getting involved with Plattner years before he ran for office. Now, the alleged victim here says she had an on and off relationship with Plattner, who's now the Democratic Senate nominee in Maine, for more than 2 years before he entered her rural Maine home uninvited one night. In late 2021, deeply intoxicated, forced himself on her while she repeatedly told him to stop. She said she cut off contact with him after telling him the encounter was not consensual. I remember him grabbing my pelvis and being really forceful of me, she said. I remember the specific moment where I thought to myself, this is no longer my choice. Plattner denied the allegations. These allegations are troubling, serious, and false. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue, Plattner said. Now, Rassicot previously described reckless and unsettling behavior by Plattner to the New York Times, but says she did not go public with a specific assault claim because she didn't want to be known as a rape victim. Rassicot said that she later felt compelled to go public about her experiences because the reaction to the Times story was dominated by controversy about another woman, Lindsay Fifield, who alleged Plattner mistreated her and faced attacks because of her ties to the Republican Party. Isn't that curious? You can say that somebody sexually abused you, harassed you, assaulted you, or raped you, but if you're a Republican, no, we don't believe all women. My part of the story, Rassicot said, was just a read over. The story was Lindsay, the accusations of her being physically or politically motivated, rather. Rassicot said she was torn over coming forward, in part because she agrees with Plattner politically. Look, I'm a 56-year-old woman. I've been around the block a few times. Rape is rape. I don't really know where politics enters rape. It did when we were all told to believe all women, which I spoke out against as a mother of 5 sons, saying that's a very dangerous predicate, especially in a world that is ripe with women suffering from mental illness. I mean, let's just call it what it is. So the story kind of goes in some weird directions. Like, I think if you're being forced to have sex against your will, you just don't have recollections that no longer the choice is not yours. You say, get off of me. I'm saying no. He raped me. Okay, but I don't know. It just feels a little odd. Okay? Can't tell you if it happened, it didn't. That's not our job. The smell test for me on this one, it's really not being passed yet. So that's basically the story, right? A Republican comes forward. Her story kind of gets poo-pooed. So what? It's a conservative. We don't really care about them. But now it's a liberal. And now this is like a bridge too far for these, what? Hacks on the left. Well, let's hear what Plattner said, Graham Plattner himself. And he's basically saying he's going to regroup, going to try to figure out if he can save his Antifa and Nazi-loving communist campaign. I'm sorry, that wasn't fair. He's going to see if he can actually survive this one or what. Listen in.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. Over the last 10 months, I have been deeply humbled by the faith Mainers have put in me. You have welcomed me into your homes, into your places of work, into your restaurants, into your houses of worship. You have shown that a different kind of politics, one that puts the interests of people over corporations, is not just possible, but is inevitable. This movement we have built, the largest volunteer base in the history of Maine politics, the hundreds of thousands of grassroots donors, and the supporters across the ideological spectrum, we were united in a love of Maine, a belief that our politics must change, and a focus on defeating Susan Collins. So, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love, the movement I belong to, and the goal of defeating Susan Collins.
Again, it's all about defeating Susan Collins. It's all that matters. Okay, so that's what he says. Again, we play it, you decide. How does it make you feel? What do you think is going on? Well, here's CNN breaking the story moments after all this comes out that the Democrat Senatorial Campaign Committee has officially pulled funding from Graham Plattner. Listen.
We actually have some significant news that was just released by the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. This is a joint statement between the chairwoman of that committee, Kirsten Gillibrand, and the Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer. Here's what they wrote, quote, "The allegations reported today are incredibly disturbing. Violence, abuse, and sexual assault are absolutely unacceptable. Graham Plattner needs to immediately withdraw as the Democratic nominee for Senate and allow Maine Democrats the opportunity to choose a new candidate who can defeat Susan Collins. The DSCC will not invest in the Maine Senate race if Plattner remains on the ballot." So a very, very serious threat there from the DSCC, saying that if Plattner does not get out of the way, they are not going to help fund this campaign.
So what if he doesn't? What if he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere? He's the guy with the leverage. Democrats have none of the cards. Democrats be like, we're not going to fund you. Oh, yeah? Well, the socialists have already beaten you. So it kind of looks like you've got nothing to provide if you're part of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Right? And then there's people like Ro Khanna. Stop flying around the world and inserting yourself into situations and feeling like anybody gives a fat rip about your endorsement. Nobody even knows who you are, let alone how to spell your name, sir. Stop acting as though you matter to us. Here's Ro Khanna, I'll tell you, the congressman from California who fancies himself a Democrat presidential contender. He wants you to forget that he not only gave a pass to Graham Plattner the last time he was accused of mistreating women, he flew out to Maine to campaign with him. Uh-oh.
Well, I do think character matters, but Graham has been pretty open that He served 2 tours of duty. He had post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, there are a lot of people who have post-traumatic stress disorder or serve, as you know, Jake, who don't have toxic relationships and don't make misogynistic comments. But he says that he was in a dark chapter of his life. He became an alcoholic, and there were years of acting in ways that he really regrets. And he asked for grace and redemption, and he thinks he's a changed person, a transformed person. I believe him.
I've been healed. Give me the grace and the glory. I've been healed. By the way, and can we all just play a game together and put like the saddest, most sour look on your face? And now you look like Jake Tapper. Oh, by the way, and Roe was like this as well about Chuck Schumer failing to endorse Graham Plattner. We remember. Listen.
It's shocking that he's just so out of touch. I mean, he needs to step aside. I've called for him to step aside. No one thinks of him as the future of the party. You know, he was very weak. He didn't want to support Graham Plattner. He was out there trying to get Janet Mills. Even he now sees that Plattner is the best chance to win the state. Won overwhelmingly last night. But he's just out of touch. I mean, and needs to move aside.
There's a dirtbag, and then there's a dirtbag who can win. And if you're a dirtbag who can win on the Democrat Party, they're like, absolutely. I'm not here to judge anybody. Like, well, he might have had some toxic relationships, but he found Jesus, a therapist, and weed. Let's give him a shot. Like, what? Should we not demand? Do we not deserve better? It's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, this just in. Whoosh. It's a breaking news alert. Apparently, Bernie Sanders has gotten his head out of his can. And he's like, yeah, I think Graham Plattner should pull out. We're not with him anymore. But if you're crazy and maybe you haven't been credibly accused of rape, let us know who you are. And we'll propel you. Look, it's so off-putting. The whole process is off-putting. And you know what's scary? And I don't want to take Graham Plattner's side on anything. I have no skin in this game at all. But how hard would it be for a woman to come out of the woodwork and to create a fanciful story to try to derail a powerful individual or someone with the potential to be powerful with weak evidence? The media fanning the flames of ire against them. It's almost like we've experienced this before. Like, wait a minute, let me go back into my crystal ball. Oh, that's right, Brett Kavanaugh. Who is Brett Kavanaugh? Oh, wait a minute, E. Jean Carroll and Donald Trump. Yeah, it's almost like they've done it before. We're supposed to believe all women. Why? I don't trust women, let alone believe them. Sorry, not sorry. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, John Fetterman calls it out. You gotta love that the guy who suffered a stroke is the one who still makes the most sense. And he's like, why does my party keep supporting dirtbags? And I'm like, well, I agree on my side too, John. Let's talk about that next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Oi! Man, I could tell last night. I needed it. I took my REM sleep from Healthy Cell. I'm just gonna say I've kind of zhuzhed up my schedule. So one Healthy Cell supplement microgel thing here, right? It's like a Go-Gurt or an applesauce or what have you. One of these can contain the ingredients of as many as 12 different pills that you take for various things. And so you like minimize the oral stuff that you're taking, which a lot of us, as we get older, our stomach acid isn't strong enough to really break down. So you end up pooping out your supplements, for better or worse. This microgel gets into your system, breaks down, and is absorbed more easily to get into the bloodstream and go, alas, to the cells where it needs to go. And REM sleep, if you're one of those NyQuil poppers where you're like, oh my God, I've got to sleep, I'm going to take NyQuil. And then you wake up the next morning and you're a zombie. That's not this. The beautiful thing about REM sleep, healthycell.com/Wendy, I'm just telling you, is that it makes you fall asleep nice and gently. You sleep soundly, but not like a brick, comatose, that you wouldn't be able to know what's going on around you. And then regardless of how much actual sleep you got, you wake up feeling rested. And you're like, how's that magic trick? That's called Healthy Cell, REM sleep. Oops. Oh, there it is. REM sleep. I strongly suggest it. I use it most nights than not. healthycell.com/Wendy. And thank you to our friends at Healthy Cell. I have a whole like apothecary here of fantastic microgels. There's one for everything. Blood sugar, blood pressure, circulation, all the heart and vascular stuff. All right. I need to see if Tulip Blooms is still working our little doodad.
It's good to know Stephen King is sticking by Graham Plattner.
Well, whatever, Stephen. See, just stick with just writing books. You know, I'm going to go with nobody cares.
Alicia Keys, stick with singing. You do great.
You got
music.
a great voice. You're super talented on the piano. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's through today. Okay, we'll talk about it. How much time do I have?
Minute 26.
tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. It ends today. This is it. Buy one, get 150% off website wide. That means you could get a velour massaging oil. Oh my gosh. You want hands that feel like you just got a manicure, the cuticles, everything. Put it on your feet, put it on your elbows. Oh my Lord. Velour massaging oil. And then you've got the body butters that you take out and you put in your hands and they kind of melt in your hand and you're like, and you put it on and it absorbs and it's like you glow. Or it's the Tulip Soothe. Wait, what? Tulip Soothe. You're like, oh, I got my neck. Put a little bit on your, rub it in. Pain's gone. Whew. Okay. Buy one, get 150% off. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I love this brand, this line of skincare. I just do. Men love it too. Men love it too. I'm just telling you. Don't think it's just about you girls, because it's not.
No.
You know how I like my men.
Men like it, and men like to rub it on women.
Wow. Okay.
That's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
If you don't want it as a man, get it to rub it on your lady.
Wow. Okay.
Your lady. Or I don't want to be sexist, or your man, whatever.
Sexist? How's that sexist?
Well,
you're such a homo.
I'm sorry,
you're
I don't
such a
want to be
homophobe.
homophobic.
God, it's so disappointing. I tried to. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Like, do you honestly believe anything anymore? It makes me angry, but I'm happy because I'm not one of those people who I'm now suspicious of everything, right? Because you have to be. If a media organization, entity, block, whatever you want to call our mainstream suck media, if they're willing to give you 98% negative news coverage about one man, ought we be believing them about really anything? I'm going to go with no. And so would it be surprising to me that somebody might come out of the woodwork and make a career-ending allegation and we be told just to deal with it? Now, Politico says, well, we did look over some emails between her therapist and her. And we did look at some emails between a subsequent love interest that this whistleblower, who's a liberal, shared with a new boyfriend about Graham Plattner. We reviewed those. It's all looking good, all in the up and up. Says who? Politico? Jake Tapper? Who? Anybody you know, believe, trust? John Fetterman was on with Laura Ingraham. And, this just goes to show you don't have to have the same politics to really appreciate, let's say, an honest man. I believe John Fetterman is, who has a moral structure that can't be influenced. And isn't that kind of nice? Here he is saying, you know what? Bernie Sanders owes America a big lo siento. I'm sorry.
I would really call Bernie Sanders to apologize for pushing this kind of predator more than anyone he helped him elect, and now apologize to the victims, especially the woman that she claimed that he raped her So I don't know why you want to keep pushing these kinds of people. Maybe he should consider set a few out and stop pushing these kind of communists and people. And now people, like P. Hustle now, he has been credibly accused of rape. And that's fairly recent, too. That was only less than 5 years ago.
Well, he said the allegations are untrue, but that he's basically reviewing his options. He's obviously going to drop out, correct?
Well, he was already a dead man walking politically. So regardless, now when the entire Democratic Party in Maine has called him to leave, and now also, as far as I know, whether it's Schumer, Gillibrand, and other leadership in the DS and other people have all called him, had to go. He's a dead man walking. I don't know why he's trying to pretend that he's not.
Don't know why he's trying to pretend that he's not. He's a dead man walking, says John Fetterman. Bernie Sanders, we remember, loved himself some Graham Platt. Remember at the National Press Club? Because, yeah, we do.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that Graham Plattner is the next senator from the state of Maine.
Well, that was dumb, Bernie, Claude. John Fetterman back now, and he's like, how does my party keep getting behind total sleaze bags? Good question, but we had the Cheneys. Go ahead.
He's a dead man walking. I don't know why he's trying to pretend that he's not done, too. Even those Pod Save America people that pushed that dirtbag, and they dismissed those things in the New York Times article. Maybe they ought to apologize to the women that clearly they didn't believe or they dismissed that. I know Democrats that have, back to back endorsed and got all in on Swalwell, and we're on the Plattner train as well, too. So maybe stop, getting on bed with absolute dirtbags, someone like Plattner.
I mean, I concur, Senator. Here's Scott Jennings, and he's like, look, the DNC knew all of these allegations. They backed this clown anyway until a liberal woman accused him. So
he had been vetted. All of the things that have been stated, it was all out in the public. And people like Ro Khanna, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Tim Walz, the Bulwark, Pod Save America, all these people came together to overlook it all, to explain it all, to rationalize it all. He was vetted. People knew all these things. And a whole bunch of Democrats in Maine showed up and voted for him anyway. And a bunch of donors from around the country sent him money anyway. I agree with Alyssa's question. What changed? Why are you bailing on Graham Plattner now? You already signed off on Nazi tattoo, a self-described communist, somebody who's had rape fantasies, somebody who has been on a social media platform, known as a playground for predators, and on and on and on and on and on. And the difference between this accuser and the previous one is simply this. She's a liberal. It's okay, I guess, for Democrats that their candidates assault conservatives. But he broke into someone's house and apparently, according to her, raped her. And because her politics are correct, they can now believe it. All of this whole thing is disgusting.
I agree. Blanket brushstroke disgusting. Yes. So's covering up the brain dead situation going on in Washington. Mitch McConnell, apparently either on life support and brain dead or just dead. You pick which one. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Read what I just sent you.
Huh. And the story
plot thickens.
Gets so.
I see. This is. I don't believe in coincidences. All this stuff comes out, and now this. He's been silent.
Are you talking about Scott Jennings?
Yes.
Yes. Unless, of course, he's being groomed. Is he running for that seat?
I don't know. Everyone else is saying one thing, and one person is saying.
Okay, so we'll tell you what's going on. Hi, X. We're cranking back up to 5,000. This is exciting. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. And for those of you on Rumble, thank you. Let me tell you quickly about bloodflow7.com. If you're, I'm just going to say over the age of 40, and that's just rando. And I think that's when a lot of people feel like their bodies begin to just not be as strong, as flexible. They're not able to walk as far, go as far, lift as much. Things change, right? Bloodflow 7 puts you right back into your teenage years. How is that possible? I'm just going to tell you that nitric oxide, which is the secret ingredient of Bloodflow 7. This is a supplement that I take every day. I take 2 capsules. It opens up your blood vessels, and so you have increased blood flow through your body. Being married to a cardiologist, people slow down. Their color changes. They feel weak. They're out of breath when they don't have blood flow, when they have a blockage and they need a stent. The minute the blockage is cleared, they get this relief. This tightness goes away. Flow matters, right? Change your world. It's less than $1 a day. Less than $1 a day. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Smartest thing I take. I will never stop. I am on a paid subscription. Brock and I are. We could get it for free. And I want to pay because I appreciate what they've done to change my life.
And we don't want to run out.
100% accurate. Okay, anyway. So Scott, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. So good. So good. Okay. And all of our sponsors are down below underneath the video box where you should leave a comment that starts with what I think Wendy is fabulous because, right? So now Scott Jennings is coming out and saying he just had a 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell and he sounds good. These things don't add up, you guys. I had a sister-in-law who died, had sudden cardiac arrest, and was resuscitated and saved. The 1% that suffers a heart attack, sudden cardiac arrest, out of the hospital and is saved doesn't happen. It did to my sister-in-law. It's all about the timing. How long was she down? Before the heart was going and there was oxygen going to the brain. That's it. And if it's beyond this window, they're gone. If Mitch McConnell was found, it's not like he fell in front of somebody and they were like, ah, and they were like, oh, hurry, or they found him. And then they had to call an ambulance. Does that feel like it's less than 10 minutes to you? Because I'm not feeling it. I don't know. And quite frankly, unless I see him come out, and even then, I'm not so sure I would believe it.
Maybe if I saw his wife visiting him in the hospital.
No, she's talking to the
how
CCP.
could she do that? She's in China.
Make it make sense. It's so jackified.
This tweet by Scott Jennings, this post by Scott Jennings is just.
We talked for 20 minutes.
What does he have to gain by saying either way? I start to try to be logical about it. What does Scott Jennings have to gain?
Wants to run
and I like him.
He wants to run for office.
But if that's the case, and Mitch McConnell, let's say Mitch is dead, and you come out with this, you just squashed your chance to run.
Yeah, what would his incentive be? Buying some time?
I mean, everyone else is reporting the complete opposite, except him and John Thune.
I think the only way they get to Scott Jennings is through Trump. Why would Trump want this charade? It just doesn't add up. You don't have, we have the reporter, Desiree Townsend. I don't know where she's from. I should probably do that. Where is journalist Desiree Townsend from? But she gets the call, the dispatch, right? Man down. Send an ambulance, stat. They're not getting to his house or wherever the flip he is in D.C., if that's where he was.
See, Salty Butterfly says, how does Scott Jennings know he wasn't talking to someone pretending to be Mitch McConnell? See, now we're going down rabbit holes that are, but
you're right. You're right. That's why I bought stock in my.
But like he said this week, we were talking about Ukraine and like, okay, maybe that tweet's like 3 years old. I said 1 minute ago, or maybe he was hacked. I believe more if Scott Jennings' X account was hacked.
Also known as Desiree Jennings.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Now you're gonna
stop.
I'm going home. I'm going home. It's just no. My brain hurts and it's about to explode and get.
No, she's not married.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain separate you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Well, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio Program is live. You know, in the commercial break, a bit of a development in this very peculiar Mitch McConnell story. And I don't know if I begin with what we just learned, Brock, or if I tuck that in at the end. Like, what do you think is the best strategy here? Because I'm kind of lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for your clarification, my trusty sidekick. Fantastic. Okay, so Scott Jennings has come out. He says he's talked on the phone with Mitch McConnell for 20 minutes, and he's super excited for Mitch to come back to the Senate and get back to work. And I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? So I'm going to read you this tweet. Moments ago, this is Scott Jennings. I trust Scott Jennings, right? But this is not adding up in my mind. And this is where, if you're on wendybellradio.com on the live stream, you can share your thoughts with me and talk me off the ledge. Here's what Scott Jennings says. I spoke to my old friend, Mitch McConnell, this morning, the senior senator from Kentucky. He's still recovering in the hospital. We talked for just shy of 20 minutes about Iran, Ukraine, the unfolding situation in Maine, my visit to the presidential library, and even some other stuff. Okay, that's just the top line of it. Mitch McConnell hasn't spoken cogently about anything in well over a year. You guys have seen the video, right? Where he's standing on the Senate floor and he's at that lectern and he's like, I'm a rock. And then some aide comes up and they're like, and he's like, and it's like a malfunctioning toy. But we're to believe from Scott Jennings that After suffering sudden cardiac arrest in which he was found unconscious in his home, and EMTs needed to be called and CPR needed to be administered. And then we heard rumors that the guy's on life support, he's cashed out, he's a vegetable, or others saying, now dude's dead. I don't know. I have no idea. But now Mitch is talking about Ukraine. I wonder if Scott asked him about the Save America Act. That'd kind of be on my top of mind. I'd be like, oh, good, you're doing better. Tell me all about your vote on the Save America Act. And then I'll know if I'm talking to some computerized representation of you. This is your voice. Isn't that terrible? That's what I think about. I believe nobody. Why should we? All right, so let's get the story here. 24 hours ago, we were asking if Mitch McConnell was on life support. Last night, before basically the U.S. World Cup game, story started coming out. Laura Loomer and this Desiree Townsend, who dropped the original story, and she got the dispatch call, 1 Adam 12, come to this, see the man. He's on the floor. He's a former Senate Majority Leader. He's not breathing, right? She releases these details that none of us have been informed of, because God forbid anybody in McConnell's orbit would tell us, or the Republican Party in general, which seems to suck as much as the Democrats. Desiree Townsend agrees with Laura Loomer that, we don't hear good things about this senator, that he is either a vegetable or he has passed away. So I'm going to read you just a blurb from Breitbart. Laura Loomer, reporter claim hospitalized Mitch McConnell is brain dead, citing unnamed sources. Okay. So in response to the claims, this is an update for this morning. Spokesperson for McConnell said the senator continues to improve in the hospital and is working closely with his staff on Kentucky and Senate matters while the Senate is out of session. I guess they got back yesterday. So that's sort of what they're saying. No, everything's great. Well, we'd like proof of life. And we'd like to know why all sorts of Capitol Police cars were at the hospital yesterday. So let's bring in this reporter. Her name is Desiree Townsend. And she's a journalist who broke the McConnell story about the 911 call or what have you. And she does hit on the fact that John Thune does not look good in all of this, because he alleged that he spoke with Mitch McConnell. Well, which one is it? Unconscious, needing CPR, maybe intubated, life support, or dead? Or he's perfectly reasonable. He's sitting there, he's doing the Sudoku right now. This is like, no, Joe Biden, he's great. He's in the back. He's juggling on his unicycle. He was in his hyperbaric chamber, all juiced up on meds, right? I believe nobody. You shouldn't either. Desiree Townsend, number one. She's like, so we can finally pay attention now to the story that's hiding in plain sight. Mitch McConnell does not seem to be recovering, and he does not seem to be communicating as John Thune told us. So where are you, Senate Majority Leader Thune? Here's Desiree.
Desiree Townsend here again outside of George Washington University Hospital as we mark week 3 of the hospitalization of Senator Mitch McConnell following the June 14th medical emergency. As you can see behind me, the Capitol Hill police vehicles, these black vehicles, are still parked outside the hospital here, an indication that he is likely also still here. So after I first released the dispatch audio indicating that he was found unconscious and was given CPR for cardiac arrest, this story finally gained national attention. However, I don't think many Americans fully appreciate the seriousness of what may be at stake following Senator McConnell's medical emergency 3 weeks ago, or how Congress's lack of a constitutional mechanism to remove members for incapacity could have broader implications for the nation's governance and, most importantly, national security. This incredibly odd story also involves Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who stated to Politico that he had spoken with McConnell the day after his hospitalization and that he, quote, sounded good, end quote. Now, this statement threw off the press for nearly 2 weeks, placating the public until I released the EMS dispatch audio showing the seriousness of this medical emergency.
Now, if you can speak after suffering a heart attack and being resuscitated the next day, right? That's amazing. That's amazing. They better have med beds for that. All I'm going to say, right? You wouldn't be in the hospital then for 3 weeks. The only way you're in the hospital for 3 weeks is if something either goes seriously wrong with you or you're in the ICU. You don't just sit there. I've had multiple babies. Get me the hell out of here, is what I was saying, even after a C-section. I'm out. Wheels up. Let's go. 3 weeks is a lifetime. So what is it? What again did John Thune say? Do you remember? Well, we went back, Politico. Thune is, quote, hopeful Mitch McConnell will return this week. This is dated June 15th, the day after whatever happened to McConnell happened. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said Monday he hopes his predecessor as top Republican, Mitch McConnell, returns this week from a hospitalization. Thune initially said he'd not yet spoken directly with the 84-year-old Kentuckian, but later said the two had spoken. He sounded good, Thune said. He wants to be back, but I'll defer to his staff on when. Why? It's weird. Earlier in the day, when asked about McConnell's condition, Thune told reporters, I'm hopeful that he'll be back this week. A McConnell spokesman said Sunday that he'd been admitted to the hospital, but didn't provide details on the condition or why he was hospitalized, a break from recent prior instances where the 7-term senator was hospitalized. Really? That spokesperson, David Popp, said in a new statement Monday that McConnell is fully engaged with staff on Senate business and Kentucky matters and is very appreciative of the outstanding care he is receiving. It's funny because he says the exact same thing that Scott Jennings says, that John Thune ended up saying. It's like everybody's gotten the same talking points. I don't know. Does that make anybody else feel weird? Makes me feel weird. Here's Desiree, part 2. Why did John Thune have to lie? What was he covering up? Did he lie? What's going on?
Now, given that Senator McConnell is still here in the hospital 3 weeks later, and as far as I know, he has not spoken with any other members of Congress, now puts this initial remark by Leader Thune into question. And look, he could have just been attempting to give Senator McConnell his privacy, but the better response could have been, I have not heard anything, or I don't know. And this story gets even odder after I reported a couple days ago of a press release documenting that McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, met with the vice president of China 3 days after his hospitalization. And to be clear, the issue is not merely that Elaine Chao went to China. The issue is she is a private citizen. She holds no official government position. She's married to a sitting U.S. senator who reportedly had a major medical emergency, and now she's meeting with one of China's highest ranking official 3 days later, all while the American public and possibly senior U.S. government officials in the Trump administration, as well as members of Congress, lacked clear information about his condition.
I don't know if the president is even on this. Are you even following this? Does he even know? One more time. This is Scott Jennings' post just moments ago, 12:52, so half an hour. I spoke to my old friend Mitch McConnell this morning, the senior senator from Kentucky. He's still recovering in the hospital from what? From what? We talked for just shy of 20 minutes about Iran, Ukraine, the unfolding situation in Maine, my visit to the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library, and even a little bit on Senate history. How about the SAVE Act? I told him we want to see him back at work as soon as possible. Do we? Really? I mean, not to be mean, but I don't. Period. You think you're going to get a new and improved Mitch McConnell, or is it just going to be the likeness of him, like the person we were supposed to believe was Joe Biden for 4 years? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, what Politico is saying about McConnell's aides covering all of this up makes it even worse. Next.
Scott Jennings is not getting very many friendly responses.
I don't know, bro. I like Scott Jennings, but I don't know.
I'm a fan of Scott, but I believe it when I see it. And then someone asked, did he answer back?
Right on.
Video was sound or it didn't happen.
Right. And beyond that, what did he say about why he was there? Because what's your first question?
What happened?
Thank you. What happened?
How you feeling?
You okay? Where's your wife? Too soon? I don't know. I can't make it up, you guys. Okay. I want to tell you guys. Okay, I want to bring this up from Kelly Morgan. I tried to print it out. She says, "Good morning. I have decided to do a discount on my Ignite 90 program for the Wendy Bell Radio Army for the month of July. Only $99. This is not a 90-day back and forth plan with interaction from me, however. The instructions are on the website under Ignite 90 Remote. People should follow them, get their testing, and then send their results to me. And I will send them the format, the program, the recipes, whatever you want to call it, for them to follow within the next several days. There you go. Here we go. Life-changing for those who follow it. Ignite 90. Go to morgainsfitness.com, MORGAINZ fitness.com. I don't know what to believe. Super sketch. Hey, 5,000 people on Rumble. I'm so excited. 1.86 Rumbles. Can you guys go down below in the video box and hit that thumbs up bubble and then hit follow? We are so excited to hit 100,000 followers. And it's literally one person at a time. So if you haven't and you like me, just click that thumbs up button and I would be forever grateful.
7,000 on X.
I know this is weird.
All 7,000 wondering what the hell is up with Mitch McConnell.
What is going on? All right, guys, go in our comments. Tell me honestly what you think is going on. Is this all bullshit and they're covering up his death? Okay. Now, the only way you would go along with it is if President Trump called and was like, "Please hold for the president." You'd be like, "Oh." Like when he called in here and Brock's sphincter got this big and he was like, "Hello, Mr. President." And he's like, "Hello, Brock."
This is Donald J.
This is
Trump.
Donald J. Trump. You're like,
Really?
"Mr. President, I got it. Thank you." And if he was like, "No, look, Brock, this is what I need you to do, babe. It's important. It's a matter of national security." You'd be like, "Okay, Mr.
Nobody's
President."
going to believe me. You're like, everyone thinks he's dead.
I don't know.
Here's
What
the
do
thing.
you guys
Joe
think?
Biden couldn't have a 20-minute conversation, or Joe Biden. Mitch McConnell couldn't have a 20-minute conversation 6 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. He was gone then.
I mean, let me do my best Mitch McConnell impersonation. Here we go.
It's so not fair. That's elder abuse. That's some kind of discrimination. Some toxic white college
That's my
educated
Mitch
liberal chick
McConnell.
would drop
I'm
on
going to
her.
go for Mitch McConnell for Halloween. I'm just going to sit there.
Do you guys remember when he went as Joe Biden?
I was standing in the bushes. I went as Fetterman, too.
He had his aviator glasses on and he was standing.
With a collar up. Khakis.
Khakis. What are you wearing? Khakis. She sounds hideous. Well,
that's
she's a dude.
Who would have thought that?
Individual, right? Just how about you don't lie to me? Right? Can we start at that? No lying for like 20 seconds. No lying. Why wouldn't Scott freaking Jennings ask Mitch McConnell the biggest question anybody would ever want? How you doing? What happened? Nothing. But we're to believe that he had a 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell, who was brain dead arguably half a decade ago. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, he's really chewing on Ukraine." I mean, he's all over. A guy's like white on rice. He's like, "Woo, I'm sorry. It feels weird."
I was just thinking, maybe Scott Jennings called, asked him a question, and it took him 20 minutes to answer. And he was just like, I just hung up.
Here's the story from Daily Beast. You know, when these outlets that hate Trump start talking about things that seem almost believable, that's when you start feeling uncomfortable inside, right? McConnell's aides cornered on truth about Senator's health. The 84-year-old is in the hospital more than 3 weeks after being found unconscious and being given CPR. I'm sorry. You're not found unconscious, needing CPR. You're not freaking breathing. And then the next day he's like, look, hey, Earl, get in here. Look, I need my trigonometry exercises. Can you please get them to me stat? I mean, like, he's not taking phone calls from John Thune. Hi, John. Yeah. I mean, it was just what a bitch of a day. Woo! But I'm doing fine. Can't wait to get back. Really? No. Mitch McConnell's office is refusing to reveal the truth about his condition as rumors run wild about the Kentucky senator's health and recovery. McConnell, 84, was hospitalized more than 3 weeks ago on June 14th. That same day, the public EMS dispatch, 1 Adam 12, right? Go to his house, revive the guy, and then they send him unconscious to the hospital. They went to his home to respond to an unconscious person. During the call, a dispatcher called it a cardiac arrest. The medic at McConnell's address said there was CPR in progress, while the senator's office has claimed McConnell continues to recover and is working closely with his staff. They refused Monday to provide any further details or to address specific questions about the senator beyond the vague statement. Who in the hell are you people? Who in the hell are you people? You're like Joe Biden's auto pen dweebs. Right? Who the hell are you? I didn't vote for you. You answer to me. I pay your salary, whatever your name is. Yeah, we're not really ready to announce anything. Oh. McConnell's staff is led by his longtime camera-shy aide. Kind of weird thing to say about somebody. Terry Carmack, who's on track to earn more than $226,000 this year. Holy cow, Brock, you're in the wrong field, brother.
Tell me about it.
Holy cow. All you have to say is, I got nothing. Yeah, no.
I just have to whisper in your ear. They ask about this.
All you have to then say is like, yeah, no, I've got nothing. It's Karine Jean-Pierre. Yeah, I got nothing. Got nothing to report. Kentucky lawmaker's office did not respond to any of the specific questions from the Daily Beast on Monday. Instead, communications director Stephanie Pence said the office, quote, "We'll be sure to keep you updated." That helps. Right? We'll be sure to leave lights on for you. She did not address whether the senator had left the hospital or had plans to this week, did not provide information on the senator's treatment, prognosis, or timeline for his full recovery. That screams freaking cover up. I'm sorry. Please, Scott Jennings, why are you carrying their water? You're not stupid, right? Did you really talk to the senator for 20 minutes? Because we can't even get his people to return phone calls. It comes as there's been a frenzy of conspiracy theories across the internet about the Republican Kentuckian and whether he was even conscious at this stage. Conscious? I'm talking about alive. And by the way, if they call it a conspiracy theory, you know it's true. Sorry. The minute they start fact-checking me, I'm like, well, I'm right. Like, it's no longer fun. This is the pathetic world in which we live of lies and propaganda and suck. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, we got a little investor news flash for you. The sooner you start saving for retirement, amazing, the more money you'll have when you're ready to retire. The Trump accounts, gangbusters, next.
Okay, so the Daily Mail.
Oh, yes, please.
Put out a story. And they're left leaning.
Of course. I have to pay for them. The dailymail.uk.
Yeah. So they're basically using Scott Jennings and his tweet. And they're saying Laura Loomer's a conspiracy theorist. Breitbart's reporting it. They're conspiracy theorists. All they're asking for is then show us proof. This is the easiest story to bunk.
We didn't steal that election.
Yeah.
Well, show us your ledgers. Now that's a bridge too far.
Well,
that's my rights.
So all the way at the end of this article, right? Utah Senator Mike Lee said on Tuesday that lawmakers are being kept in the dark. Many of us aren't speaking about Mitch McConnell's condition because we know nothing about his condition. Well, then why is
he getting in?
If Scott Jennings has a phone call with him, what's the big secret? What's the big secret? Apparently, everybody can call Mitch. Just don't go through Elaine because she ain't there. Hold on, we got to route you through China. Hold on. Elaine, you there? Yeah, I'm here. Okay, let's start. If the senators aren't talking about it because they don't know, but Scott Jennings picks up the phone and goes, "Hey, bud, how's it hanging?"
I'm sorry. I'm calling
how things.
I'm calling bullshit on all of this.
What? How's Ukraine? What do you think about Ukraine?
That's going to be the number one thing on my radars.
Right? Yeah, I'm going to call off
so
him.
Stupid.
Hey, Mitch.
What do you think about that story that nobody's talking about anymore? That $188 billion money laundering operation that got all of the money that was supposed to go back into Joe Biden's coffers, except he became too brain dead to do anything. Yeah, how do you feel about that? Said nobody.
See, here's the problem with Washington. They've lied so much and gotten away with it. They don't even know how to make a good lie.
They don't even try. They're like, meh, well, whatever.
All you had to do when Mitch McConnell would go through his freezes is say he suffered seizures. No one's going to say anything. They'll be like, oh, ain't that a shame? Maybe he should go on some meds.
Now's a great time to get into gold and silver.
Mitch got a lot of those.
One of the things that I think about giving money to my sons, my dad, I was just home in California. He went through all of his finances, and he's like, this is where this is located. And if something happens to me, then call so-and-so. But I want you to see this is what we're dealing with, yada, yada. I want to be able to do that for my children too. But did you know that your purchase of gold, silver, platinum, palladium, these are wonderful gifts that can be passed down to your children, to your grandchildren? Imagine buying each of your grandchildren a gold coin or a silver bar or a silver brick and maybe making that the new tradition every year. By the time you're gone, they've got a phenomenal nest egg that's going to continue gaining in value. I love Texas Bullion Exchange. These are the people I've been working with. I've purchased from them twice. 855-927-5557. Ask about how you can get 6% in free silver. 855-927-5557. WendyLovesGold.com. Period. That's the way it goes. I love them. I do. I think they're wonderful. And I learn something every single time. Buying gold and silver is exhilarating. We are so close, 20 people away to the elusive 2,000. We're hitting it at the halfway point. You guys have really knocked this one out of the park today, and I'm super impressed. Thank you so much. 5,000 people watching on Rumble. We've got 8,000 watching on X. I have no idea what's going on there. So excited, though. Thank you for being here. Let's see some of your comments. Let's see if any of you had some recent comments. Why did his wife go to China? TMW3 says. She getting new orders from the CCP? Is Mitch and his staff compromised? Trust in an age of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
I have another question.
George Orwell said that. You're right.
I have another question. If a senator makes $175,000, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
How's his right-hand man making $250,000?
Wow. That is a very interesting question. So my understanding was, and it's been a while, 174 is
okay.
Is the congressional, I don't know, is that also Senate? Let me see.
Either way.
Do senators get paid? Yeah, how's that dude making $2 bills? 174 a year. How is Mitch McConnell's aide?
Oh, I know how.
Right? Stop it. I'd have to see what they say.
He's moonlighting as Mitch McConnell. So he gets a part of Mitch's salary because he's making all the decisions. The guy we
Mitch McConnell himself did not make $225. No, I know that, jackass.
Yeah, and Yeah.
Oh, it comes from a separate staff salary, not the senator's pay. How does that make sense? Oh, that would be unusually high for most Senate staff positions. What do you want to bet that guy who's camera shy? What an odd way to describe somebody. Meaning, don't try to get him. Don't try to track him down.
Yeah, you won't
He's
know
not,
many ways.
point. He's like, wait a minute. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So if Mitch McConnell, as a senator, makes $174,000 a year, how's his aide making $226,000? Riddle me that. How does that work out? And then why would the Daily Beast refer to this aide who makes what, $50,000 more than a senator? I mean, he's married to a Chinese shipping magnate. So, I mean, like, if you believe that, I don't know. He's making 50 grand large more than the senator. And the Daily Beast describes him as being camera shy. Isn't that a peculiar way that you would describe someone? Like, I'm a reporter by trade. It's who I've been for 30 years. Camera shy? It's just so weird. I'm sorry, none of it adds up. It stinks. I think he's dead. Brock, what do you think? You think he's dead? I think he's dead.
I think he's dead, and I think what's more interesting right now is, what do they always say? The cover-up is worse than the crime. And all these people covering, when literally all it would take is one video or one person.
Give me proof of
not
life,
saying
babe.
like, hey, dude, I tweeted, I had a phone call with Mitch.
If you're there in 3 weeks, if you're there for 3 weeks, right, and you were able day after your sudden cardiac arrest where they were like on your chest, by the way, that leaves a mark.
I was just gonna say, at his age, you're breaking ribs.
That leaves a mark. But he was great. John Thune, I was chatting with him. He sounded good. Eager to get back to business. Nobody in the Senate is eager to get back to business. You guys don't freaking work. And yet somehow, when 9% of the American gen pop is, would be millionaires, you got 73 of them in the Senate. That's so weird. How does that work? 73% are millionaires or billionaires in the Senate. It's almost like something's going on. I don't know. I don't want to be called a conspiracy theorist or anything.
I don't understand either. So in this story in the Daily Mail,
the Daily
Mail said Utah Senator Mike Lee says nobody's talking about it because we don't know. But Scott Jennings gets through the switchboard.
Scott Jennings calls the hospital. Hi, Sheila.
It's Scott from CNN Tonight.
It's Scott
with Abby Phillip.
Is my boy Mitch there? Thanks, baby. Thanks, appreciate it. Patch me through. What? And wouldn't she be like, how's Elaine? Where's she? No, nothing. It's all very weird, you guys. I'm sorry, this Mitch McConnell thing, it stinks to high heaven. That's what's going on. It stinks. And if you're not suspicious, if you don't listen to everything these people say and take it with a grain of salt, then go up to 30,000 feet and look down and watch how they're all moving their chess pieces on the table, because it's like, that's how we know what's going on. Then you need to be. All right, we need to talk about these Trump accounts. One of the greatest things I think that a parent can do for a child, besides possibly giving the gift of education, right? I had parents, I did not pay for college. My parents saved and scrimped, and my sister and I both went to college, and it was covered. So I graduated from both college and graduate school debt-free. Perhaps the greatest gift that I was given. I'm not saddled in $250,000 of debt. It's going to take me 40 years to pay off. What this president has done with these Trump accounts, with Susan and Michael Dell giving $6.5 billion and saying every baby born in the United States starting in 2025 gets $1,000 dumped into an account for them. You can register your child and get them a social security number at the same time. And that $1,000 is going to go into a fund for them where it's going to be able to grow. And it's going to grow and it's going to compound over time. And if you start giving to an IRA, a 401k, or saving for the future, even at the age of 30, if you've done so, if people on your behalf have done so since birth, oh my gosh, this is called you're pulling a generation out of poverty, is what you're doing. And so this is a wild article. This is a wild story. Wasn't expecting it. CNN doing the unthinkable, putting out a real story about these Trump accounts. And he wants us to become more of a saver mentality. 100% correct. Senior business reporter David Goldman over at CNN. He's weird, but it's kind of cool how he talks about the bonus, the benefit of starting a newborn savings account at the age of 0 and watching that money grow and compound over time. David Goldman, CNN senior business reporter.
So if you have a child that was born in 2025 or beyond, then you can get this Trump account as long as you're a U.S. citizen and you have a valid Social Security number for your kid. And actually, if you apply for a Social Security number, you can now apply for a Trump account at the same time with the same form. So what are the rules? How do you get this? Well, you can contribute $5,000 a year tax-free. Tax-deductible investments in a low-cost index fund. That's like the S&P 500. Remember, the S&P 500 made 300% over the past 10 years. That could be a really good investment. But, you know, even if you don't invest in it, it's a pretty good deal. And you can use it for things like college, obviously, because when you're 18, that's one of the places that you're going. But you may not. You might want to use it for your first home. You can even just keep it in your account and use it for retirement. If you use it for something that's not one of these, though, then you do get a 10% penalty, and you have to pay those taxes that I mentioned before. Now, if you do not contribute to this and you just keep $1,000, still with a 10% return, which is pretty conservative over the past 10 years, look at this. You can still walk away with $5,500 for college or something else like that. Now, that's not going to pay for college. If you do max out your contributions, you're talking about some really serious money, about $250,000 by the time your child is 18, assuming that 10% returns.
How huge is that? That's game-changing. That's life-making. That's dream-securing money. That's monstrous. President Trump only cares about himself. Really? Huh. Did you see Joe Biden getting Michael and Susan Dell to open up their bank account for $6.5 billion as seed money? No, you didn't. Here's investment firm CEO Jenny Johnson. She's talking about compounding interest. I think she's on CNBC. She's talking about starting early, saving and investing in the retirement funds early, and what a huge advantage this is to America's babies.
So first of all, I think that the most important investment decision a person could make is not, did you pick the right index? Did you pick the right stock? It's getting in the market. And what the Trump account does is it broadens the capability of people to have access to the market. So let me put that in the power of compounding. If you invest $5,000 a year, $1,000 a year for 10 years at age 20, when you retire at 60, you will have more money than a person who starts to invest at age 30 and invests the same amount per year for 30 years. That's the power of compounding. And so if you look at with the Trump accounts, we're now starting at birth and being able to compound. I think it's incredibly powerful. And then the second thing is, it actually, what has made this country great? What's made this country great is that we have capital markets that fund innovation. We're the most innovative country in the world. And now we can broaden the participation.
And then Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says Trump accounts, this is the ultimate generational game changer.
This weekend, the first investments started rolling in and the money started flowing in. And every newborn born after January 1st, 2025 gets an initial $1,000 for free seeded from the U.S. Treasury. So this is a no-brainer for new parents, but also amazing for anyone under the age of 18. And there's 70 million individuals that we believe this could be the best mechanism for them to get ownership from a young age in the U.S. equity markets, which, as you guys know, have been the greatest engine of wealth creation in human history.
Hello. And then there's poverty pimp walrus Benny Thompson, right? Did you hear what he put out? This is his tweet. In response to the Trump accounts, in response to this whole idea that we're gonna have our children, we're gonna contribute, we're gonna help them understand the power of saving, the thought process of not now, rewarding now, but saving and enjoying watching it grow, right? Benny Thompson goes, it's safe to say I would pass on a Trump account. That's his sage advice to the entire Black community. Yeah, I would pass on that. I wouldn't take that $1,000 offer from Michael and Susan Dell. I just think it smells bad. It's not right. What an absolute moron.
Well, I heard the median income of his district is $27,000. So
this is called game changing. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. He's absolutely getting excoriated.
But don't take the money.
He's getting excoriated in the responses to him. And you know what? The president is not done yet. All the people are like, he only cares about himself and his business. Do you know how much money he's made off of Bitcoin? Blah, 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 blah. How about you suck it and listen to this? President's not done. He's eyeing a model that's being used in Australia right now that makes saving as an American adult possibly mandatory, forcing people to save money. If you're not going to do it yourself, I'm going to tell you, we're going to make you do it because it is the one lifeline that you will have to your own economic independence later. Trump eyes Australia-style retirement savings plan for adults. And I'm just going to scroll down to some of the nuts and bolts. Australia's retirement system is based on superannuation. It is a mandatory savings structure that requires employers to contribute 12% of a worker's ordinary earnings into a tax-favored retirement account. Those accounts are largely managed by private funds. Trump first raised interest in the Australia-style approach in December while announcing that $6.25 billion donation from the Dells for the Trump accounts. And at the time, Trump said his administration was also examining a retirement savings plan aimed specifically at working people. The whole point isn't to live just for the gratitude and gratification, I should say, of now. It's about pushing off today's enjoyment for tomorrow's financial stability. Do you see anybody else, any other president talking about stuff like this? And he's the bad guy. Got it. Make it make sense. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, apparently socialism in New York is not going on so swimmingly. They've already tried to redistribute wealth. It's like crazy. It's almost like it predicted itself. Next on the Wendy Bell radio network.
I got an idea for Trump.
What's that?
How about I'll waive my rate to Social Security, which won't be there. Give me all the money I've paid in the Social Security and let me put that into the market.
Don't you wonder how much that money is?
It's zero. I know that already.
No, I think we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But my monthly benefit or whatever is supposed to be a lot better than I was expecting.
You're assuming it's going to be there.
I heard you the first two times you hit me over the head with it. I got you. GLP-1 Gold. I have friends who've been taking Mounjaro, Wegovy, and Ozempic. And it's amazing. I mean, you do lose an awful lot of weight. You lose a lot of muscle mass, which is hard. That can be hard. And we don't really know that the long-term effects of being on a medicine like that. And for some people, it's for the rest of their lives. Some people say if they go off of it for a week, they put on 10, 12, 14 pounds. That's tough. Now, if you want the health benefits. You want to see the weight loss on yourself, but you don't want to get involved in a big pharma shot whose results we know very little about. Might I introduce you to Juvenon? Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. That's the page to go to. And that page opens you up as a Wendy Bell Radio fan to 30% off every single thing that they make. And I love this company. You know how I feel about Juvenon. GLP-1 Gold is a supplement that you can take that behaves the way Ozempic does. It's just a slower kind of weight loss. 70 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds. People are losing significant weight on this product. Check it out. Read the reviews. And I know because I've shopped for it, it's less than $1 a day. GLP-1 Gold is what it's called. This is what it looks like. Just like a little jar, little capsules, just like that. Easy peasy. Take 2 of them a day. Cuts your hunger, cuts your cravings, cuts your weight. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Again, GLP, that's the hormone, 1 Gold. Like Trump accounts. Gold. I mean, I just can't tell you how life-changing that whole Trump account thing is. Oh, health revolution. Oh, so now now we're up to 10,000 on X. Hi, it's great to have you. Great to be with you. We also broadcast on Rumble, on our app, everything like that. So wendybellradio.com. Hopefully you've enjoyed us so far. If you have comments, share with us in the comment section here in Rumble. I'd love to know what you guys think, especially new people. And if you're new, drop us a line. Say hello in the chat here on Rumble if you are. I'd love to know who you are and where you're from, how you found us. Other than that, I got nothing. Are you guys interested in the Tyler Robinson trial at all? I can't get into it too much. Not right now. Like, it's just
preliminary.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of wall-to-wall of stuff that's not really moving the needle right now. So I'm like, meh.
Nancy got 3.
2. Oh, geez. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. You know, the problem with youth is that we're stupid when we're young, right? How many decisions do you wish you could go back and redo under the age of 30? I made a lot of dumb calls. How many times could you have died? Seriously. Decisions to drive when you ought not have. Accidents that you missed by the skin of your chinny chin chin, if you've ever thought about it. It's like we're lucky to get past the age, right? We're like, woo, out of the woods primarily. So it makes sense that young people who vote for socialism are stupid. Sadly, they're not. They're just groomed. And their products, they are wealthy, white and black Gen Zers who've been groomed into the thought process of why show up and go to work when you can just bitch and have them take money away from the rich people and redistribute it on you. I mean, it sounds fabulous. Who doesn't want food that's abundant? Who doesn't want free health care, free everything? I want to ride whatever I want to ride. Metro. I want to ride the subway. I want to ride for free. Yeah, they promise you the world and then they bend you over. That's what's going on. New York City resident is told by his energy supplier that his wattage is going down. He's not allowed to use so much juice. You know, it's for the greater good. Got to take one for the team. But, of course, they did air conditioner Taylor Swift's Madison Square Garden wedding really nicely. And Mayor Zoran Mamdani's office at City Hall is a cool 54 degrees. What? Listen.
I get a message from Con Ed and they tell me that they're going to lower the voltage in my area to reduce outages. What a coincidence, the same day Taylor Swift gets married at MSG. And for all the Swiftie fans and mental, idiotic liberals who think that this wouldn't affect what's going on in New York, you're dead wrong. Imagine going to a gas station paying full price, but they quietly give you 10% less than what you're supposed to get. Welcome to socialism. And we have this idiot mayor telling people to put their ACs to 78 degrees. This is going to be the liberal logic. Oh, he wants to reduce outages in New York. That makes sense. Well, I wonder why it got so bad, because we allowed millions of illegal immigrants to come into our country. So now we have to be 20 times more conservative. At some point, we have to ask if our infrastructure could keep up with the policies that we support. And I know that's hard to comprehend for the woke leftist liberals who can't have the brain of a frog, but think about it.
What this New York resident is saying actually happened. Con Edison, which is a power company, did implement 8% voltage reduction in parts of Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and northern Manhattan because of the heat. So this makes their lights dimmer, it makes your appliances not work as well. And of course, Mamdani did tell residents to set their thermostats to 78 degrees. But what's really ironic about all these restrictions on residents is that the New York Post went and investigated, and they found that Mamdani isn't abiding by his own restrictions. In fact, City Hall has rooms that are as low as 54 degrees while people are being told in their homes to keep theirs at 78. This is socialism.
Did you also see this one? That a Mamdani appointed commission has quietly pushed nearly 20% pay raises for New York City politicians, while the mayor pushes tax the billionaires. If this thing goes through 18%, his salary, the Ugandan guy, communist mayor, his salary would jump. He'd be making a lot more than Mitch McConnell, dead or alive. Like,
but would he be making as much as his assistant?
His salary would go from $258,000 to $305,000. City council members will go from $148,000 to $175,000. The council speaker's pay would go from $164,000 to $194,000. Holy cow! Take from the billionaires and don't give to the people, the paupers. Just pay yourself. Bang, bang, bang. It's almost like that's what socialism and communism are. Here's Alan Dershowitz dropping the gloves with Rudy Giuliani. He's talking about all of the New York City Jews who voted for this jackass.
The same city electing Rudy Giuliani and Mamdani to the same office. It is absurd. I mean, Mamdani should be the mayor of Tehran, Gaza City. But the idea that he's the mayor of New York, and
100%,
by the way,
Alan.
let me compliment your people. I'm going to make a general point. Thank God for Italian Americans in New York. They voted almost unanimously against Mamdani. My people, the idiot Jews in New York who live on the Upper West Side, who live in Park Slope, who voted for Mamdani, remind me of the 7,000 Jews who voted for Hitler in 1932. Believe it or not, 7,000 Jews formed a party in 1932 and voted for Hitler, thinking he'd be good for the economy. And, Jews who vote like that, thank God we have Italian Americans and Irish Americans and other Americans who have a lot more sense than many Jewish Americans do.
Isn't that astonishing? That's what he says. Rudy Giuliani literally gobsmacked. So Mamdani's 3-person quadrennial advisory committee that he appointed in March released its report recommending salary bumps for the mayor, city council members, borough presidents, the comptroller, public advocate, council speaker, and district attorneys. The increases would be the first since 2016 and would apply retroactively in some cases if approved by the city council this summer. So the city council gets to approve its own pay raise. I'm sure that'll pass. I don't know. Let me look at my Ouija board. How's it looking, Ouija? Are they going to pass it? Yes. Scumbags. Well, it's a cost of living upgrade. Okay. When we come back, hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program. So why is it that liberals don't love America? It's almost like they hate America. It's sad, isn't it? No, it's a sickness. Next. Brock, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Okay.
Thank you.
When are these progressives going to learn? Especially in New York. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. Remember when they were going to give free child care That was the big thing. Free child care. And they did for government employees. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know, like if you keep falling for this BS, maybe Wendy can get our Ouija board and talk to Mitch. I think that story. I don't know why Scott Jennings would get involved. I don't. There's no good outcome for him. Like, unless he took a payout. He doesn't strike me as that type of guy. I mean, obviously I don't know him, but he doesn't strike me as that type of guy. Like, I just can't see the upside for him in any side. Just say nothing.
Hi. How's everybody? I want to tell you about Health Revolution. I really think so many of you are going to benefit. You don't like your health insurance. You don't like what you pay for your health insurance. You don't like your coverage. You don't like your doctors. You don't like your copay. You sure as hell don't like your deductible, right? What if there is a better way? Well, you're in luck because there is, and it's called Health Revolution. Look, you call this number 800-868-6187, and they take some information about you, right? And then they're going to put you with somebody who's going to become your BFF. They're going to talk to you about how healthy you are, things that are your objectives, things that you'd like to have covered as your insurance. And then they put together a plan for you that cuts your premium by 30 to 60%. That's like out of the gates. Like that's for beginning. Secondly, you don't have any copays. How's that for nice? Third, you get to see whatever doctor you want to see. There's a specialist you want to see the specialist. If you're a guy, why are you paying for maternity coverage? Right? Why are you doing that? You shouldn't be. Health Revolution, info.healthrevolution.net, info.healthrevolution.net, 800-868-6187. Got to be under 65. You got to be in reasonably good health. Okay? If you're on COBRA, if you are self-employed, if you're a gig worker, if you're just tired of paying too much and having a plan, they got to squeeze into this portal, got to get it all figured out. There's no open enrollment period. It's when you're ready. How about that? When you're ready, they'll be ready. I don't know why you would wait though, because you could save buku every month. info.healthrevolution.net. How are you guys? How you doing? Let's see how we're doing because it's been a pretty successful day so far with you guys. Let's see. Already, we've had 42,000 views, which is very exciting. 4,900 watching. That's great on Rumble. Thank you. We've got 2.17 Rumbles. That's great. Thank you. And we're still growing over here on X, 11,200. It's kind of fun. I like it. Me likes. I'm going to go over to X and see what they're saying our numbers are. Yeah, 11.2. Oh, and then there's Alex Jones. Well, way to poo in my mouth, Alex. 156,000. Bro, can you imagine that? No. If you went home, so honey, how was your day? It was good. Our numbers were down, only 156,000 watching live. Like, that's crazy. Crazy. What is Bongino?
CNN.
What is tenfold? What does Bongino normally get as a live audience? Does anybody know? And what time is he even on? We're gonna run head to head with him, aren't we?
Yes.
All right. Here's a question: how many of you are going to choose me over Dan Bongino when we change August 17th and go from 12 to 3 to 10 to 1?
I can independently confirm I will.
Tell me. Say something nice in the comments to me, or say no, I won't. It's cool. You can be honest with me. I'm a big girl. Oh, hi, Witch Niche? Hi, Witch Niche 23. I'm pretty new here. Came over from RAV. They are showing the trial continuously. I can't do it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just, I don't want to watch. You guys remember the Menendez trial? Because I do, since I went to high school with them. But I remember being at the University of Colorado in the Chi Omega sorority house, and it was on. It was like Court TV's first big trial, the Menendez brothers. And we watched it like nonstop. I'm sorry. I got stuff to do. Now it's like, right? I don't need to hear like not jury selection, but preliminary stuff. Like, well, we're here, which niche. I'll say it right. Hey, what's going on, Ginger? You got bicked in Dan's chat. What does that mean? What? Ginger, is that something that's real? Wendy Carr says, Wendy Bell all the way. Thank you. 99% of X are bots. Way to, Mr. Flipster, way to just, again, poo. Mouth. Wow. Doug, thank you. Stay with Wendy. Aw. Thank you. Oh, blocked. They blocked you. Oh, well, at least you're not permabanned. I am on Twitch, YouTube, right? Never even a question, says Mr. Black Dog. Love you back. See, Christopher is going to go. Are you going to stay with me? You're going to stay with me. Oh, you're the best. I've never watched Dan.
I'm staying with you. That should count for something.
Well, you have to. I am your biatch. As he called me back in the day, his meal ticket. That's always friendly. That feels good.
I'm going to hear the end of that one.
No, you won't.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. And as I say every day, it's never old to say, it is an honor and a privilege to be here with you. Thank you for being a part of our family. I do appreciate it. So what's going on? Only 36% of Democrats say they are extremely or very proud to be American. That's a new Gallup poll. Well, it's a couple weeks old, but I wanted to bring it up and dust it off for you because I think it kind of parlays nicely into this next segment of total abject crazy. Look, I don't know where it has to happen in public school. It has to happen in public school. And it's the phases of the teaching, of undoing the connection between young people and their history. It's like what Spencer Pratt was talking about, the communists and socialists do. They got to burn down your house, change your memories, distance you from the good times, rewrite what actually happened, what is right, what is true, what you should care about. By the time you finally realize it's happened, your system that you've sadly taken for granted for too long is no longer. Yeah, we're not going to do that. 36% of Democrats, only 1 in 3 says they're extremely or very proud to be an American. And these findings are a stark illustration of how many, but not all, Americans have felt less of a sense of pride in their country over the past decade. Yeah, not Republicans. Not Republicans. You guys have some force field. I do too. Because it is what I care about. It is the North Star. It is North is still North, as Clarence Thomas tells us. Only about 4 in 10 adults who are part of Generation Z born between 97 and 2012, express a high level of pride in being American. That's taught. That's where you're taught in school. If you're white, you should feel guilty. You should feel bad about that. You should fight back against that. You should hate yourself, right? Some self-immolation does a body good. This is what we're doing, this slow erosion in national pride. Republicans are solid. 90-odd percent. Today, 90-odd percent. 10 years ago, 90-odd percent. 40 years ago, proud to be an American. Amen. Bring it. I'll take 2 servings. And yet you've got this real collapse on the left. Is that what leads us to this next story, which is one that defies all logic, because craziness is not logical. It's deranged. So in San Diego, there's this homeowners community. They've got an HOA. It talks about the rules, can't make sure you tend to your yard. Don't, dry clothes over the balcony. We don't need this to seem trashy. Do this, do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. But when they said no American flags, not allowed to fly an American flag, and over the 4th of July, no doubt, right? Yes, and people had a problem. Well, I wasn't expecting this. This is a San Diego NBC station, NBC7, I believe they say. And there's a reporter who's on it. And these homeowners are just totally, no. You want me not to raise my American flag? Or if I do put it, I got to put it in the back of the house so as to not offend anybody. I've got a hand gesture for you that's unladylike, and I won't do it right now because kids are around. But I will say suck it to this HOA. So I want you to hear the story. It is so sad. It is so predicted. We're going to start with a mashup of sound of homeowners. They're like, look, no way am I going to take down my flag. As an NBC reporter introduces us to a woman named Amy Cook. She is a direct descendant, she says, of revolutionaries. She's got a Daughters of the American Revolution on her sleeve, or she's got an arm tattoo, right? And she's been warned that if she doesn't take down her American flag, oh yeah, this HOA, we're going to fine you, sister, and we're going to fine you every day. Listen, here's the beginning.
I'm not going to let them bully me with fines to take down the symbol of America.
No, flag isn't coming down. No, everybody had flags up, the whole community. But now the last 2 years, it's just slowly, one after another, everyone's flags have come down.
They revisit this again. If the policy stands, then I will be fined every month that my flag is up.
This flag represents freedom and sacrifice and blood that was shed for this country.
Cook says she's a direct descendant of revolutionaries. She wears a Daughters of the American Revolution tattoo. Her husband's father received a Purple Heart and Navy Cross for his sacrifice in World War II.
This is important, and people need to understand that they need to stand up for our country because there's too much at stake.
Residents say this debate with the HOA began 2 years ago. In part of an email explaining the policy in October of 2024, a board member identifies flying an American flag as essentially a political affiliative view.
A political affiliative view is code for Republicans do that. And we're like, we're not down with that kind of conservative mumbo jumbo. I mean, like the horror, can you imagine? Like if we let that go, then we'd have to put up those hideous LGBTQIA plus flags, which suck. No, this is exactly punitive. They equate the American flag with conservatives. Is that because conservatives, 90% of the time, fly the flag, feel proud of America, and have strong roots based in patriotism, where you got this wayward bunch of weirdos on the left who are like, take down your flag, it offends me. And then you got people in the neighborhood who are like, well, I don't want to get a fine, so I'm going to take down my flag. Who are you? Like, if you're not going to stand for the freaking American flag, you're going to lie down for anything. This continues. This Amy Cook woman, her HOA sent her a letter justifying their no flag edict as protecting democracy or some other such nonsense. Listen to how liberals spin their triggered hatred of what you and I love, and that's called America.
In a more recent email to Cook, dated May 8th, 2026, the Ambiance Owners Association wrote, "These restrictions are not meant as an inconvenience or an invasion of freedom, but rather as a means of maintaining harmony, continuity, and property value." Dave is doubling down. He's had a flag in the front of his home for 35 years. Instead of taking it down, he added a second in his backyard to this palm tree.
They're trying to tell me that the only way we could have one is not in the front or the side of the common property, but I can in my backyard.
Like Cook, Collins was urged to attend Tuesday's board meeting to make his case for displaying the American flag, or face a $100 fine.
For 35 years, that flag has been on that corner.
I should not have to argue about my freedoms to display the symbol of freedom in America.
Yeah, make it make sense, guys. And they say maintaining harmony, continuity, and property values. As though your property values are going to go down if you fly an American flag, which is your God-given right to do. I see Supreme Court all over this. I would fight Amy Cook. I would fight whatever Dave's last name is. I would fight. I would go out and I'd get a projector and I would light up my house red, white, and blue. I'd be like, oh yeah, you want to play? I'd get all the little flags and I'd be like, bink, 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 bink in the ground. How far do you want to go with this? Oh, I can wrap my windows, my car. How much do you want to push me? Because if you want to push me, game on. Game freaking on. And yet you have your mealy mouth people who are like, well, I really do like my flag, but I don't want to get a fine and I just want to get along, you know. We're all in this together. Right? No. Hell no. Absolutely not. You know, and there's a woman who is just a toxic witch, Sunny Hostin, over at The View. And I'm going to sit on this for just a couple minutes for you. See, she's not worried about a criminal illegal alien kicking in her front door, tying her up, putting a nail gun in her hand so she would reveal where she keeps her valuables. Because that happened to a woman. Remember that story? And then the people got her money and they took her to an overpass and they dumped her body. They shot her, thought they killed her. She played dead, shot, dumped her off of a berm. Bye-bye. See, Sunny Hostin, she's not worried about illegals. She's not worried about robbers. She's not worried about drug zombies. She's worried about one thing in particular, ladies and gentlemen, when she drives into a neighborhood that she's unfamiliar with. And I'll tell you what, my Lord, it's scary. Wait until you find out. I think you could probably put two and two together because she said it yesterday on The View, after which Chuck Todd from Meet the Depressed, formerly he's been bagged, right? Aw. He came out very upset about something too. It's important that we let you know how deranged some people are. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Can you imagine? What would you do if your homeowners association came up to you? Be like, I'm pretty sure you're going to lose this one. Pretty sure.
I didn't think Upchuck could go any lower.
He's also like geeked out, hopped out on something because you see his leg is shaking. He's like, I'm like, dude.
He came.
Maybe a little less speed before you do your little podcast.
I don't know. Maybe start drinking. Relax a little bit. Maybe a Xanax, pop a Xanax.
The American flag is political. No, it's for all Americans. It represents all people except the illegals. All of us.
I would have such a hard time living in an HOA.
I'd have a hard time living in Southern California. So,
well.
All right, let me talk to you guys about something. Dr. Simkovich. Dr. Simkovich and the Simkovich Concussion Institute. I had an unusual headache this morning. I had to take a couple ibuprofen before I came to work. And I was just like, man, I'm so lucky I don't have chronic headaches anymore. Because so much of my youth, basically going through puberty, just being absolutely debilitated because of headaches. Just the worst. And it's very dark. It's very lonely. And I remember that feeling like it, what happened last year. And if you are that person, if you know that something's wrong with your brain, something's wrong in your face, soft palate, something's up. You got hurt. Maybe you got injured in an accident or playing sports or what have you, or you just have problems with chronic pain. The Simkovich Concussion Institute is 100% my first call. That's my phone a friend on speed dial ASAP. I've got Stacy Simkovich on speed dial. Telling you what, 412-366-3700. They fix you. Whether it's traumatic brain injury, concussion, headaches, essential tremor, stress, anxiety. There's so many things wrapped in here. And without surgery, no blood, no syringes, no needles, no nothing, right? Dr. Simkovich fixes you, pushes everything back into place, and sets you on your merry way. And you get your life back. Sounds pretty good to me. 412-366-3700. Okay. Now we're almost at 13,000 on X. Let's see if Alan ever found out why we never made the leaderboard yesterday. Let's see. He said he lost everything Monday at 11:45 a.m. There we were nowhere on the leaderboard all day. No clue. No clue. No idea. This woman, this Sunny, is such a... I hate to give any kind of credence to it because she's just such a nutbag. And these women, this is why I don't like women. Look, I like individual women. But as a group, I really don't care for them. I really don't. Didn't want to be around them when I was pregnant. Wasn't the gossiping, type one. No. And it seems like they just do a lot to make people angry. So, sorry if that's a blanket statement. It's true. 100% true.
I love the ladies.
You love the ladies.
I just don't want to get the hate mail from you. We'll send it to me.
What do you mean? That the people are going to hate me for saying that?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. It's kind of like being a parent of a toddler. And the toddler is going to throw a tantrum. Is not going to want to listen to you, doesn't want to follow the rules, has no interest in cooperating, wants what he or she wants, and we want it now. That goes to 0 to 60 in a hot second, screaming, writhing. Rah! It's crazy. Now, you can give into it and try to placate the tantrum and soothe it away, or you could do what my husband and I did commonly, which is probably not very friendly, but we laughed. Nothing pisses off somebody who's screaming and fussy than you laughing in their face being like, I don't mean it like that, but it's true, because if you give into the behavior yields a result, the behavior continues. And if you just sit there and you deal with the torture of whatever they're screaming about, whatever they're doing, and you just sort of look at them, ultimately they give up. Right? There's ultimately I have no more voice to scream. I have no more tears to cry. I'm freaking tired. I need to go home and take a nap. Right? This is where I am with people like Sunny Hostin. We've entertained this whack job and her cohorts on The View, and their mental illness and their lack of objective thinking and their steady diet of consuming MSNBC and CNN. That is their fact. That is who they are. That is how they're programmed. But when somebody like Sunny Hostin says something as stupid as this, there are some people who will not be saved. Here she is, and confessing to the other triggered ladies on The View. She feels particularly unsafe when she goes into certain neighborhoods. Because of this one thing. Oh my gosh, play it, Brock.
And I said this on this show many, many years ago, because this is my 10th year on the show. And I said there are times when I walk into a community and I see American flags all over the community, and I suddenly feel unsafe because there's a section of this country that has co-opted the American flag, and they equate being an American or an American flag with white supremacy, and that should never be the symbol of white supremacy, but they have weaponized.
Because the flag belongs to all of us.
It does belong to all of us. But those men were wearing a flag on their
You're just stupid. I mean, how do you even dignify that with anything? How am I supposed to handle that? Sonny, you ignorant. Boop. I mean, like, what else is there to say? If you think the American flag is a symbol of white supremacy, you know, I hate to round up all of the numbers of minorities who've died to protect it, to defend it. What an absolute twit. What a moron-triggered zero. Huh. Giving women a bad name again. Oh, Sonny. And then there's Chuck Todd. Chuck, who, after getting bounced from Meet the Press, apparently isn't doing so well, going on his own. Like all the others, I'm going to do a podcast. Everybody's going to tune in. Well, maybe not. Especially not when you're a complete dork like he is here. Chuck Todd feels betrayed. He thinks President Trump ruined America's birthday. Oh, my God. Here you go.
I'm so angry and feel betrayed. I do. I feel betrayed as an American by him on this. Constitution is not perfect, but it gives us a way to keep going. It gives us structure for disagreement. It gives us a method for repair. It gives us the possibility of becoming better without pretending we were always good. It makes some of the same promises that some religious texts do for people. And this is why I'm so pissed off. Not because I love the country less, but because I love the idea of America enough to resent seeing it cheapened by this man. America deserved better at 250. Someday, I believe, it will get better. But it's in your hands.
You suck. That's the dumbest thing I've heard. What did the Democrats do to contribute to the 250th celebration? Well, in Pennsylvania, our lackey governor, Josh Shapiro, was like, yeah, I can't find any businesses that really are all that interested in going to the National Mall and presenting an idea of what is Pennsylvania. Yeah, I can't figure that out. So John Fetterman and the other guy, what's his name? Dave McCormick, two senators from Pennsylvania, were like, what are you talking about? In like 4 minutes, they had all these businesses who were like, yeah, I'll talk about what's great about Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'll represent the farmers. Yeah, I'll represent this. You suck, Josh Shapiro. Just like freaking Chuck Todd. He ruined it. What was your idea? How are you going to celebrate 250? Joe Biden's idea was to drag a beach chair across the sand, right? To take 40% of his time off, either lying there like a corpse under an umbrella as Jill ambivalently read while he was sitting there, or he was in his hyperbaric chamber getting juiced up, like whatever. Chuck Todd is upset that Trump, he sullied it. And then he said something which was really weird. The Constitution gives us the possibility of getting better without pretending we were always good. When have you not been good? When has America not been the greatest? Chuck, I think maybe you need to go somewhere else, babe. I think it's time for you to take that one-way ticket somewhere other than here. I hear El Salvador is just beautiful this time of year. Now that it's all cleaned up, of course. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, America deserves and demands better. We're going to listen to a little John Thune flashback, and then we're going to chew on it. Literally chewing on it. And you're welcome. Next. Disinfectwithsniper.com. So I love this testimony about knockout. Disinfectwithsniper.com is like your one-stop shop for some of the coolest things that don't belong together. Like How do you have a spray that keeps deer out of eating your hosta with a bunch of spices from Hunt Chef spices? Hunt Chef, right? Eat what you kill. That's their motto. Love it. Great spices. How do you then put up a 250th anniversary flag? They're all sold on the same site. That's where we get to Knockout. Knockout is kind of a sister product to Sniper, except it's a huge deodorizer, which is great. So this is a little Knockout testimony for us. Hi, Wendy and Brock. My husband and I are in the middle of a major kitchen remodel. The workmen yesterday were busy painting my kitchen cabinets, and someone tracked a little cabinet paint on my hardwood floors. I'm not going to lie, I had a little bit of a meltdown. There may have not been a crazed animal trying to escape the corner. It's how I was acting. And then all of a sudden, I looked over and I saw the Sniper and the Knockout I had just purchased from Disinfect with Sniper. Had it along with my Deadweed Brew, my Harmony. So she's like, literally, I grabbed what was first and it was Knockout. I wasn't even thinking about it. She says, I put a little Knockout, a spritz down, and I took a paper towel. I did a little scrubby scrub and it came right up. It was amazing. Pretty sure Knockout is not for paint removal. However, I work like a charm. I love these products. I've used Knockout and Sniper for almost a year. However, I've not used Harmony or the Weed Brew yet. You will. You'll love it. It's phenomenal. I have high hopes that these will be stellar products. Thank you for introducing me to these products. And thank you for keeping us all sane in these insane times. Cheers to truth and common sense. It's from Holly. Disinfectwithsniper.com.
My brother said he used Harmony on his plants.
Uh-huh.
And he says, didn't work. I was like, didn't work. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
right. What is he trying for it to do?
Oh, no. He waters his plants 3 times a day.
Oh, so he washes it off.
I still told him, I says, you're an idiot. You spray it and then you water your plants and you think it's going to work.
Wow. So you called Tom an idiot.
Yeah.
That's hurtful.
Well, I told Jolene. I'm like, he does realize that he's washing it off.
So wait, so you told Jolene or you told Tom?
I told Jolene.
Ah.
I asked Tom how many.
See, this is sort of like John Thune talking to Mitch McConnell.
No.
The story changes.
We were all
more
sitting
we drill into
outside
it.
and he was watering the plants. And I said to Jolene, I'm like, right after he says, I used Harmony, it didn't work. And he started spraying the thing. And I said to Jolene, I'm like, how often does he water the plants? She's like 3 times a day. He's nuts about it. I'm like, well, he does realize he's washing the Harmony off.
Does he have a lot of plants?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got a watermelon. It's this big.
He's
like, I got
watering
a watermelon out there. So like I walk out like an idiot thinking I'm gonna see, and it's like this big. I'm like, oh well, it's 4th of July. Let's cut that bad boy open. He has a lot of peppers.
Sounds like you need some
and mint,
tulip blooms,
and basil.
Mm-hmm.
Those are for the cocktails.
Oh yes, very nice. Mm-hmm. If you can work sage into a cocktail for me, it's my favorite spice.
He has that too.
Yes, but I'm saying he needs to work it into a cocktail.
Why would he make you a cocktail?
Well, because I'd love to learn how to make one. I don't know. Okay, I guess not. Sorry.
Well,
whatever.
It's like a John Thune conversation because you said if he could work it into it, and I'm like, why would he make? Well,
Did you just try to like snippy? You just tried to snippy punch at me. It's like a John Thune comment. Really, you didn't like getting that, did you?
No.
I don't know.
Oh well, you went from wanting someone else to make it to now I want to learn about.
Whatevs. That's cool.
Well, you have a Google machine.
Google machine. I wonder if I have not read this article about Seth Rich, but wow, I think I'm going to have to once we get through a little John Thune. I'm not trying to avoid you guys. I'm trying to see This is one of those stories.
Basically, a lot of stuff with him. His attorney released it. They found it in burn bags again in certain compartments. I don't know what's taking them so long to get through the building. Bourbon sage sour. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about those.
Bing, 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 bing. Let's see. We got 14,000 on X. Bell radio program. I was half tempted in the commercial break to ask my AI search assistant over here at Perplexity, how many people in the Clinton crime family orbit have died mysteriously? Because I think the number, isn't it, Brock, in the 50s? I think it's in the 50s. I mean, I'm talking out of my ears right here. I don't know for sure.
That number sounds about right.
Right?
But I mean,
somewhere,
we probably forgot some.
Somewhere in the mid-50s. Well, I want to talk to you about this, and this is a pivot in today's show, but it dropped within the last hour. All right? Gateway Pundit. Do you guys remember the name Seth Rich? Seth Rich was a 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer. He was from Nebraska, from Omaha. And he was fatally shot in Washington, D.C. in July of 2016. So about 10 years ago. His murder became the subject of widespread conspiracy theories. What do you guys know about conspiracy theories? They got kind of a wild track record, don't they? Of being factual. When you're like, weird how that worked out. Anytime they fact check you, you know that you're onto something, right? So widespread conspiracy theories, but the case was generally described by investigators and major news outlets as an unsolved killing, likely a botched robbery. Right. Okay, so that's what they say. I believe nobody, so woo-woo. Attorney Ty Clevenger drops bombshell. FBI hid hundreds of Seth Rich documents in previously hidden skiff room at headquarters, mixed with burn bags intended for destruction. So says Jim Hoft over at Gateway Pundit. The corrupt deep state is crumbling. This is a very interesting hypothesis. I think these people are really, really panicked. I think Clinton's should be. I think Bush's should be. I think Fauci should be, and a lot of others. Brennan, Clapper, Comey, all of them. The corrupt deep state is crumbling, and the truth they desperately tried to burn is finally clawing its way to the light. Attorney Ty Clevenger, who has spent nearly a decade battling the FBI and DOJ for transparency in the Seth Rich case, revealed a stunning new development on X. He wrote this. Seth Rich update. Today, an attorney for the government told me that I would soon be getting confirmation that several hundred pages of documents related to Seth Rich were found in a previously hidden room at FBI headquarters. You may recall that on July 30th, 2025, Fox News Digital reported that newly installed FBI Director Kash Patel and his leadership team had located an unmapped, sealed area within the J. Edgar Hoover Building's SCIF. Last year's Fox report described, quote, burn bags that contained thousands of pages of classified files intended for destruction. And those files were linked back to the 2016 Crossfire Hurricane investigation, and now it appears the Seth Rich records were among the files designated for destruction. Odd. Mind you, I don't have anything in hand yet, says this attorney. I don't even know whether the FBI will agree to release a single page of what it found. Nevertheless, any confirmation that the files were in the secret SCIF raises a lot of questions. At the very least, some very high-level people had something to hide. The FBI originally told me in 2017 that it had no records whatsoever. This is under Chris Wray, right? About Seth Rich, because it was not involved in the investigation of his death. We were told he died in a botched robbery and only the local police were investigating it. Right. Since that time, the FBI has gradually admitted to possession of several thousand pages of documents about Seth, his work laptop, an image of his personal laptop, and another DVD. Nevertheless, on June 15th, 2026, so what, a couple weeks ago, I had to file yet another motion explaining how the FBI is withholding records in violation of court orders. If the FBI is still fighting transparency so hard on other fronts, and it is, then why would it acknowledge that records about Seth had been hidden in the SCIF? I don't know. Maybe Joe DeGeneva's grand jury investigation in Miami is putting some heat on the players in D.C. I can tell you, again, this is still this attorney. I can tell you this much for sure. Nobody on Capitol Hill has been willing to touch this subject with a 10-foot pole. The murder of Seth Rich and the resulting cover-up is as radioactive as any topic I've ever seen, which means it wasn't a botched robbery. I hope that changes soon, he writes, and I'll post updates as soon as I know more. By the way, I'm not suicidal. I feel great. You know, Sunny Hostin shouldn't be worried about seeing American flags. She should be worried about people who would kill so that their secrets can remain secret. That's what I'd be worried about. This is the same FBI that originally told Ty Clevenger, this attorney, back in 2017, it had zero records on Seth Rich because the Bureau was not involved in the investigation of his death. They claimed it was nothing more than a botched robbery handled solely by local D.C. police over the years through relentless FOIA litigation, Freedom of Information Act, and court pressure. The FBI has been forced to admit it actually possesses thousands of pages of Seth Rich documents, including his work laptop, an image of his personal laptop, and a DVD, yet they continue to fight tooth and nail to keep the full truth hidden. Why, does one suppose? You're not supposed to ask. Yet even after the court orders, the stonewalling continued. The Gateway Pundit has reported this for years. In April 2025, Clevenger filed a motion to hold the FBI in contempt of court for systematically violating orders to produce Seth Rich records. If you've got nothing to hide, what's your jam here? In December 2025, Clevenger blasted the FBI for a 9-year cover-up, accusing the Bureau of lying to courts and burying evidence. And as recently as this past February 2026, even under Director Kash Patel, the FBI was still defying court orders to turn over the documents. It's almost like they're running a rogue bureau and not even Kash is in charge. It's like the whole UFO thing and this blob managing what this president knows and what he doesn't and what you and I are allowed to learn. Who the hell are these people? Are they working Mitch McConnell's amazing recovery? On June 15th, 2026, Clevenger had to file yet another motion laying out how the FBI continues to withhold records in violation of court orders. And now we learn that Seth Rich records were apparently stashed in the same secret unmapped skiff room where burn bags full of Crossfire hurricane files were hidden away for destruction. Huh. I would imagine, and look at me, I'm just a little old mom, right? I know nothing. I would imagine the Clintons are a little uncomfortable today, but I'm sure it's nothing, right? So now that we're up to speed on that, 10 years after a botched robbery, right? Let's talk about what's going on with this John Thune. I want to play what he said on June 16th. So let's go back to the timeline of this Mitch McConnell issue, because just like the Seth Rich murder, this don't smell right. Correct? So you're found unresponsive at your home, June 14th. Unresponsive, not breathing. Somebody calls 911. EMT arrives at your house. Dispatch says it looks like sudden cardiac arrest. Dude's not breathing, right? Chest compression, CPR is begun. Into the ambulance, they take him. And 2 days later, John Thune goes on Fox News with Brett Baer, that jerk who called Arizona with 6% of the vote. I'll never forget, never forgive, you jerk. And he says, you know what? I talked to Mitch, Senate Majority Leader, saying this, live television. I talked to Mitch. He's doing A-OK. Let's listen in and see exactly what happened. 2 days after Mitch McConnell was found unresponsive, June 16th, this is what John Thune said.
Senator McConnell, we're told it was hospitalized. Have you heard any word on him?
I have. I spoke to him yesterday, and he was in good spirits. I mean, he was paying very dialed in, paying attention to what's going on, and indicated that he would be back soon.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God.
Shift more. Did you see his eyes, Brock? Look, I'm no therapist, but I am a mom and I've seen lies. And I'm a liar. I was a liar when I was little, and I was a bad liar, and I was shifty McShifty too. Right? Where you look around and you're like, no, I didn't do that. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're asking for. Anywho, what else? Who wants to get ice cream? Right? No, I talked to him. I talked to him yesterday. He's good. This is conduct unbecoming, because you can't have it both ways. You can't have a guy who's unconscious, possible heart attack, resuscitated ostensibly, if that's even true, who then you talk to the next day, but is sick enough to require hospitalization for 3 weeks. And then the timeline doesn't really add up, right? The Senate voted twice on the Save America Act in June. Mitch McConnell voted no on June 5th. Voted June 4th and June 5th. Pretty sure he voted no on the 4th, voted no on the 5th. 9 days later, he's found unconscious, needing CPR. 10 days after that, just 8 days after John Thune told Brett Baer, yeah, I talked to him yesterday. He's fine. He's doing great. Right? John Thune dismisses the Senate for a 2-week recess, and then they get back yesterday. And still no sign of Mitch. How do you feel about that, ladies and gentlemen? Have you ever been hospitalized for 3 weeks? You got to be pretty freaking sick, right? Apparently, he's talking to Scott Jennings about Ukraine, of all things. That's totally where I would go. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, if you don't think President Trump is working to bring down costs, and you don't think he's working the phones, I got a story for you about Walmart. Demand, are you listening? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I don't know, guys.
What did I just sent you?
They're all effing lying. They're all effing lying. So Brock sends me, we'll talk about this here in just a minute, but Brock sends me something from the X handle Midas Touch. The individual is releasing statements saying they spoke with McConnell. All say they spoke with him for about 20 minutes. Scott Jennings, he talked for just shy of 20 minutes about Iran and Ukraine. Then Nathaniel Reed knew via Majority Whip Senator John Barrasso His spokesperson, Kate Noyes, said Senator Barrasso and Senator McConnell had lengthy conversation, had lengthy conversation early this afternoon. This was dated July 7th. So today. They chatted just moments ago. And it was nearly a what? Oh, roughly a 20-minute conversation. I don't know about you guys.
It all makes sense. He got
Scott Jennings, I will never believe you again.
He has phone cards in 20-minute increments, so it has to only last. So he puts in the little code, and then they say, you have 1 minute left.
It's like
okay, we got to wrap it up. That's why Scott Jennings said nearly 20 minutes, because he heard the 1 minute warning.
No, he heard him from prison. It's where you only get,
Yeah.
Remember
Why
when
would
Stuart
no?
Rhodes
I've never
would
been
call,
in the clink like you.
No, I was talking about when Stuart Rhodes called. Remember when we had
yeah.
douche. Wow.
Well, you were in the clink.
Wow. You're still taking an offense to some of the things I said earlier about you.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? It's almost like I know you. Look at that stupid look on your face. Look at that look. You know that look. Oh, he's trying so hard. He's digging his fingernails into his thigh. That's what I used to do in television when I was about to giggle, and it was not a funny story. It was about some mass murder. And I was giggling, and my co-anchor and I were giggling.
75 people died.
You get punchy, and I would dig. I have a mark on my hand here from my fingernail digging in, literally drawing blood because I could not get it together. And that you sure as don't want to be like, but sometimes shite happens. I don't know.
Graham Plattner is refusing to drop out of Senate race unless he gets to name his successor. A source
he's the only one here with leverage.
Yeah, a source familiar with the campaign discussion said Plattner, his campaign and political strategist Morris Katz, are deliberating about the main Democrat dropping out, but only if his replacement has the same views he holds.
Likes masturbating while defecating in a porta-john.
Or raping women, or,
thinks veterans are weak and deserve to die.
Yeah.
That's
going to be a hard one to find. Someone willing to admit
they're as big a dirtbag as he is.
In the porta-john.
Nothing makes me feel hot like going into a porta-john.
Yeah, nothing says I got
how you doing.
Yeah, like
what gets me hot is that there's toilet paper. You're like, yes.
Or they just cleaned it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's so rank. Did I get everybody?
Yeah.
Look at that stupid look. Look at him. You know it too.
I'm thinking about the time you were in the porta potty. I so wanted to tip it.
No, you had to linger around it.
I wasn't lingering.
Yes, you were. You were lingering.
I was too. That's fake
sounds so
news.
great.
Oh, I heard.
It is fake news. It's program. All right, Brock, you're going to have to tell us the Graham Plattner update after I give everybody else the update on this whole Scott Jennings thing.
No, you get the good one.
So Midas Touch, one of the handles on X, manages to do a side-by-side of something Scott Jennings tweeted out at 9:52 this morning, and then something that was tweeted out 40 minutes later from Senator John Barrasso's spokesperson. So Scott Jennings writes, I spoke to my old friend Mitch McConnell this morning, the senior senator from Kentucky. He's still recovering in the hospital. We talked just shy of 20 minutes about Iran, Ukraine, the unfolding situation in Maine, my visit to the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library, and even a little bit of Senate history. I told him we want to see him back at work as soon as possible. Then this guy named Nathaniel Reed writes, new via Majority Whip Senator John Barrasso spokesperson. Senator Barrasso and Senator McConnell had a lengthy conversation early this morning. Their phone call lasted roughly 20 minutes. Senator McConnell was fully engaged. really, and is eager to get back to the Senate. Roughly 20 minutes, just shy of 20 minutes. Really? I don't know. Does that make you guys feel a little uncomfortable? Like they got the same talking points and they say the same things because it's just a little sus to me. And then we've got this. Brock's got news on Graham Plattner. Go for it.
Yeah, Graham Plattner is refusing to drop out of the Senate race unless he gets to name the successor. Him and his political strategist, Morris Katz, whoever that is, are deliberating about the main Democrat dropping out, but only if his replacement has the same views he holds.
Huh. Well, now that's interesting. Isn't that it? So who's on his short list, right? P. Diddy? Like, I mean, who's there? Who's on his list, right? He's like, I name Eric Swalwell. Can you imagine? Oh, my gosh.
They probably share the same views.
Oh, my gosh. That actually would be masterclass. Can you imagine? Honest to God.
He probably could. I mean, he didn't live in California, so why does he have to live in Maine?
100%. All right, so whatever, that's going on. We're percolating. We'll pay attention. And tomorrow, of course, we'll get you all the juicy juice on that stuff. I wanted to talk to you, all these people who are bemoaning the cost of living that was caused by Democrats. It was caused by 4 years of bringing in millions of people and giving them a bunch of our stuff for free and then sticking us with the bill, period. You know it. I know it. You don't all of a sudden absorb millions of people and have everything go well. But this president is the one who's blamed for it. But he also realizes he's the only one to stop it, to fix it. And he's got only a little over 2 years to do it. Newsmax is reporting today, Trump says Walmart price cuts answer the call to lower costs for Americans. So he calls FIFA and he calls Walmart, okay? President Donald Trump on Monday highlighted Walmart price cuts as his administration seeks to show progress on one of its biggest priorities and one of his critics' favorite attack points, lowering the cost of everyday goods for Americans still facing elevated prices. And he said Walmart agreed to reduce prices on a range of products, including ground beef, after his administration requested that major retailers help provide affordability relief as part of efforts tied to the nation's 250th anniversary. Right? So this is how Michael and Susan Dell get on board. We're going to give you $6.25 billion. And then Trump is like, all right, we need to talk to all the major retailers. It's like, we need to talk to all of these pharma companies. We're not going to pay for the world's prescription drugs anymore. We want most favored nation prices, period. That's the game. If you wish to do business here in America, that's what I want. This is America's CEO. This is a fighter, not for conservatives, not for white people, right? Not for straight people, all people. All people. And that the Democrats are so nose blind to everything, and that they get triggered by a flag or by fireworks or by anything this president does, and they lose their rationality. It's very telling because I voted for everything that's been going on. I can't tell you I'm unhappy about any of it. He's cleaned up our cities. He's closed the border. He's shipped out already and will have here soon 2 million illegal aliens who you and I didn't invite, but who Joe Biden and co, whomever the puppeteer is, needed to vote Democrat. Now you've got Trump going to Walmart and saying, look, you guys got to give us a break. You got to give the American people a break, please. And you know who can take it on the chin? I'm going to go with the Waltons, if they even still own the damn thing, right? This is your president. Meantime, you have Democrats scrambling to cover up the likes of Eric Swalwell, scrambling to find a replacement for now finally too toxic Graham Plattner. And he's like, yo, I still have the keys to the Cadillac. I'm not going anywhere, baby. Can you imagine if he would win? Oh my. It's like my head is already spinning for tomorrow and it can't come fast enough. How about 21 hours from now we do it all over again? Deal? Have a great day, everybody. Thank you and peace.